We're live. Hey, welcome everybody to the Superior Adventures Guild. My name's Dave, your host for tonight's part one of a new short shot. I'm super excited because I'm surrounded by these beautiful people right here. And I get to sit back and play a game because my friend Christian, the Bleak Season, has decided to take the helm and guide us through this Free League Publishing game of Mutant Year Zero Genlab Alpha. So this is something very different. We've never done anything quite like this on the stream before in terms of a system. This is a new system for us, and Christian is going to guide us into this strange world of Paradise Valley. So without further ado, Christian, thank you so much for being here. Please tell the folks who are hanging out with us a little bit about yourself, and let's kick this thing off.
Hey, Dave, thank you very much for the opportunity to do this. Happy to be here with all you guys. Right, so Mutant Genlab Alpha that we're going to be running here is from Free League Publishing. It is basically the game takes place in Paradise Valley, a beautiful, idyllic valley that is populated by mutated animals. For generations now, these mutated animals, who are basically humanoid, have lived in Paradise Valley, forming tribes and sort of eking out a bit of a survival, because Paradise Valley, while it is very beautiful, is also bordered by an electric fence and watched over by mechanical beings called Watchers, who often zoom in and out, kidnap animals. They're sometimes never seen again. Sometimes they come back, but they've changed. So it is very much a question of survival in this place. And the group that we're going to encounter tonight are individuals who have been exiled from their tribe for various reasons, which will come out during the game. And we're basically going to see sort of what happens to them. I'll fill you in on what exactly is going to happen later. As for me, my name's Christian, the Bleak Season on Twitter. Been playing RPGs since I was 16 years old, jamming for most of that time. I've played here a little bit with Dave, Guild Spear, and a few other places, and I'm super stoked to get a chance to do this tonight. So how about we go around the table then and take a look at the people who will be joining us. I might as well start with the man himself, DM Dave. If you would like to tell us a little bit about yourself and your character.
Sure. Christian, thank you so much, first of all, for doing this. I'm super excited. I've wanted to play this game for a long time. So, hi, everybody. You know me. I'm Dungeon Dave. I play games, produce games, and run games here on Guild Superior. Super excited to be able to play in this game in particular. Make sure that if you're not following our channel, please do. We have games coming up on Wednesday this week. Our Beyond Saltmarsh campaign continues deeper and deeper into the Amadio jungle. That's a game that we play in the world of Greyhawk, 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. And we've got a lot more fun stuff coming up in the future in terms of other folks jumping in to play and run games. So super excited. And I'm excited to play for the first time with Miko, and coming back with Vamp and Travis. I'm super jazzed to have you guys on the stream again. I am playing Lloyd 10. I don't know if Michael or Christian, if you wanted us to get into who we're playing or not. Should we hold off on that?
Yeah, go ahead and give us a little
sure.
A little breakdown, just a quick little breakdown. We'll have a description and more details once we start to.
So yes, pleasures to meet you. My name's Lloyd 10, and I'm I guess what the guys call me, the rabbit of the group. I like to think that I'm a hare more than a rabbit, but no, nothing. Just a little legomorph humor for you. But anyhow, so you know, I've got this strange ability. Some might say it's a gift. Some might say it's a curse, but I can kind of see things sometimes. You know, I see things before they happen. Sometimes they come true, which is great. Sometimes they don't come true, which can be great too. I mean, let's be honest. The first time that I saw Pacino in a vision, he killed me. So it's kind of good that that hasn't happened yet. Pleasure to be here. Looking forward to the game.
Speaking of Pacino, Miko, if you would like.
Hi there, Miko. You can find me various places on the internet, usually, like for example, on Twitter, _okist_GM. Do not be deceived by any fake OK GMs out there. I am the original OKist GM. I've been running games, predominantly D&D, but basically all genres of TTRPGs now for well, basically since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, as my grandfather would say. I am an avid espouser of people that play D&D and have good experiences with it. And I do everything in my power to make sure that that sort of thing happens. But I also do everything in my power to take the opportunity to play TTRPGs whenever I get a chance. As the other constant DMs in this group can attest to, we love it when we get to play. Yeah, I'll be playing Pacino 32, a bear warrior who has somehow managed to survive to elder years, much to, I'm sure, his various adversaries' dismays over the many seasons. And I will be doing my damnedest to try and protect these hooligans from the world and probably from each other as well.
Cool. Thank you very much, Miko. Glad to have you here. We're going to save the Masked Avenger for last, and we'll go with Travis right now. We'll save the best for last.
Okay. Okay. Travis, or also known as Eversold. You can find me either on Twitter as Skane Eversold, or the work that I do specifically on YouTube and channel is Eversold. And the only thing I got going on right now is playing here with these fun individuals and going through editing a backlog of a lot of stuff that I've done specifically for my channel. More focused on right now is the stuff that I did with Dave when we were running charity specifically for Extra Life, playing Knights and Bikes. I wanted to definitely put that out there, kind of immortalize that. It was a really fun time, to be honest.
That was great.
I am playing as Page 42, who is a reptile box turtle, as with the role as a healer. I kind of imagined that he does seem to have somewhat of like maybe a stableness to him. He's probably going to be having to begrudgingly restore all the injuries that this group is probably going to be sustaining over the short interim that we're playing, and likely carrying a lot of weight about him, that more so than what you could see. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Heavy conscience, do you?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining the game, Travis. And finally, the masked wonder himself. Who is this man hiding behind the mask?
Lizard, thank you.
Lizard, yes. Who is this lizard hiding behind the mask?
It's true. I am the Chad. Hello, everyone. Vampwickman here. You can find me as Vampwickman around on the internet, on Twitch, and everywhere else. Oftentimes, I can be found playing on this channel, being killed by Dave. He has a high kill rate. Just because he's not running this game doesn't mean he's not going to kill me, so he still has an opportunity to add to his percentage. I'm just saying. 2 Saturdays from now, I'll be on the GaryCon Twitch for Founders and Legends. We'll be playing for the same charity that you were speaking of, Extra Life. So come join us. I'll be there Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've been playing games for a long time. You can find me at GaryCon, working there. Hope to see however many of you as can make it up in Wisconsin, and I'm ready to have some fun. Tonight, I'll be playing, let me stretch my snake lungs real quick. Howdy, y'all. I'm playing Macklemore 45 tonight. You can call me Mac. I'm a bushmaster snake of the reptile family, of course. I'm a hunter. I've been a hunter for a long time. I'm not quite elder, but I figured maybe one day I'd get there, or maybe one day my prey would get me. Who knows? I've been lonely recently. I got in trouble with the clan, and, had some issues and got kicked out. We'll talk about that later. It's a little embarrassing, but I'm hoping with my new friends, we can make sort of a clan of our own and, get through this time. Oh, yeah. I miss sleeping in a comfy place.
Getting a real Macho Man Savage vibe from you there. Yeah.
I could go farther that way, but no. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. Dave, any further announcements or shout-outs?
Oh goodness. Yeah, just a couple of quick shout outs to folks who create music that we use here on the channel. So that intro music was composed and created by Carl Casey. Putting a link in the chat for folks that want to go check out their Bandcamp page. It's absolutely fantastic. And then you're going to hear a lot of good stuff from our friends over at Cryo Chamber. So I've got a link in there too. They produce all kinds of great music, and they've told us to continue to use it in our games. So thank you to Cryo Chamber. We appreciate them. One thing, folks, if you want to support the channel, you can certainly give our channel a follow. If you're not already following us, I don't know why you wouldn't be, but please do. And then support our friends as well. I dropped links to my friends here. Give them a shout. Connect with them on their various Twitters and whatever else, Twitters and tweeters, and you know what I mean, folks. TikToks, all that jazz. We appreciate you guys. We do have a mechanic here, as Christian will sort of give us more detail as we go through this, but where if you want to engage and get involved in the game as our watchers, perhaps, the chat now being the watchers, you do have the option to cheer 100 bits and provide advantage to one of the players. So help us out because we might need it. As Vamp said, he might be the first one to die. Who knows? And that is it, my friend.
All right. One final little mention from me. As Dave mentioned, it's a new system pretty much for everyone here. Some of us have a little bit of experience with it. But if we do get some rule wrong, or I don't want to spend time going through the rule book mid-game. So if I'm not sure what's going on, I'll just make a ruling. We'll check it out, and then between the games, we'll hook it up. So no need to run me off of Twitter with pitchforks if I forget exactly which D6 is the right one to roll.
Yeah,
and with
nice.
that, our game is called Blood in Winter. And if everyone's ready, you guys good to go?
Heck yeah.
All right.
Do it.
You live in paradise. Your home is a vast valley surrounded by mountains so high the peaks are covered with snow all year round. Down in the valley, there are wild moors, lush forests filled with game, and cold streams where fish spawn in the spring. And you're never alone. Your tribe is never far away. The tribe is your safe haven, your home. Except for you guys, since you're all exiled. But paradise is a prison. Walls and fences buzzing with lethal current block all paths of the valley. Every attempt to tear the fences down or climb them is punished harshly by the watchers. Your jailers, nightmare machines, drones in the sky monitor every step you take. Walkers march into your tribe without warning and force you to obey their metallic commands. Sometimes they abduct members of your tribe and take them to the subterranean labyrinth. When the victims come back, they are forever scarred by the Watchers' grotesque experiments. Memories and personalities erase, if they come back at all. As we begin our game today here in Paradise Valley, it is winter. The metal shackles on your wrists are frozen and now not only cut into your fur, into your skin, but also burn. After a warm summer and damp autumn, and facing the prospect of a long cold winter, you all, at one moment or another, decided to follow rumors that spoke of a group of exiles banding together, perhaps even creating a new tribe, one made of various exiles like yourselves. Rumors were that they had found a warm, dry place to spend the winter, and that their doors were open. You traveled many miles through the golden red forest, eventually finding the remote cave where this group was said to lair. But what you found there was not succor, but rather horror. A group of masked animals, all wielding guns, something that is very rare in these parts, rounded up the first 9 exiles to walk into their trap, including you. Then they proceeded to chain you, and in a twist so cunning and cruel, you wondered why no one had thought of it before, they sold you to the 9 tribes to stand as sacrifices in lieu of tribe members for the annual Winter's Blood Festival. These sacrifices are meant to appease the Watchers and convince them to bring back summer. Now 9 of you, chained and sorrowful, are being marched up the mountain toward the eastern Forbidden Zone, from whence no animal has ever returned. What awaits you there is uncertain, but is bound to compound all the horrors that you have faced so far. You find yourselves in a little path going up the mountain, heading towards the eastern Forbidden Zone. And as you head up there, you've reached at one point a bit of a branching in the road, and a group of these watchers, these wardens, this group of masked animals that have taken you, went off into another direction. And the rest of you with your guardians kept going uphill. You've been going at it for a few hours now, and as the sun was starting to dip below the horizon, and you were starting to get really sort of tired, they arrived at this little area where there are a couple of felled trees. And one of them, the leader presumably of the batch that stayed behind, ordered that you be given a short rest, the last one before you are marched into the Forbidden Zone. There is a group of 4, as you can see up here on the map, a group of 4 that are chained together, and then there's a group of 5 that are chained together here. And then the rest of the guards are on this area. With you on the chain is a short badger, a scavenger, by the name of Worsley, but he likes to be called Gump. He sticks out his tongue. That took you a while, Dave.
I know.
He sticks out his tongue, and slowly, a bit of snow comes down and lands on his tongue. The situation sucks, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna make a daring escape.
I suppose we should. Acamore,
mean-
you got a plan?
I sure would like to get out of these chains and get away from here and survive the winter, but I hope we don't freeze to death. You know what I'm saying?
You are quite cold, actually, as you were not furnished much in the way of clothing, and you just have sort of whatever you walked in with, which might be t-shirts and vests or light jackets, things like that. And although some of you do have thicker fur, it is still, this high up in altitude, it is still quite cold, and you're starting to feel it in every part of your body.
Lucky for me, I'm part snowshoe hair, so it's not so bad.
Yeah, well, they keep thinking us up here. You'll have been here today, but gone tomorrow. Who's got a plan? I'm thinking that there's a lot more of us than there are them.
That would be foolish to think such things.
Oh. Are you talking down there, big boy?
Yeah, it's me talking. You should probably do a little less of it.
Well, you look to me like you could take half these guys on yourself.
Yeah, you see those sticks they have in their hands that most people recognize as guns? They're
Oh,
a
no.
little bit of an equalizer.
How bad can it be?
You want to get your hand blown off?
Nah.
I kind of like my hands where they are, thank you very much.
Yeah, then just say Chill out. Shouldn't be too hard in this cold.
Chill out. I see what you did there.
Yeah,
You think they could get us a little fire going or something?
not here.
Are you trying to get cooked, son? I feel like they might not need to bring us in alive, if you know what I mean.
Well, you know,
This is just a stopover. We're not staying here long. Keep your eyes open.
as you're speaking, you hear a buzzing noise coming from up above, and over the trees down this way. And as you look up into the sky, you see the unmistakable outline of one of the flying machines that oftentimes you see buzzing over your homes, and that you tend to try to hide from, because they usually announce that something else is coming. And as you see this drone sort of coming in over the trees, the guards also notice it, and you see that they're like started looking upstairs, pointing out, and then they're starting to sort of react to that. And a couple of them are going under the trees to take some cover. Some of them are kind of preparing their guns, and a couple of them are coming over to where the chain gangs are, trying to get you to move under the brush, so that you can hide from these guys. So a couple of them will move over here. Come on, get in there, get under the brush, get under those trees there.
You'll get your hands off of me.
If you don't move it, you lose it. Get under there.
I'll actually step over, like putting myself between Macklemore and the one that's closest, and kind of like gently guiding him back a little bit protectively towards the shrubs. Can I try to get a sense of these guys' reactions, and whether or not this strikes me? I was originally thinking that if we were being sent off for sacrifice, that these guys were collaborators, and now I'm starting to get the feel maybe that they're not.
Yeah, like they definitely seem to like want to hide away from this, and some of them even look like they're thinking of shooting this thing down, but the others are saying, if you shoot down, it'll just bring in more trouble or something like that. You certainly don't get the feeling that they're collaborators with the machines.
Do we know that of the machines, this isn't a surprise to us to see these machines hovering above? Or
no, it's, I mean, I'm not going to say that it's a daily occurrence, but it's a near daily occurrence. Like almost every day, you either come across a checkpoint somewhere, or a patrol you have to hide, or there's a drone flying overhead. Most of the time, the drones don't do much. They're sort of keeping it, unless you're doing something, that you figure they would think is, verboten, as they would say. But most of the time they sort of leave you alone, but you still kind of get it. But almost every day there's definitely something. Like there's constant reminders of these watchers and these machines out there.
Hey, yo, Paige. Be ready, man. Be ready. I'm gonna look for a stone near the tree as we're moving towards the tree line to hide.
What are you gonna do? Don't cause any trouble. They're gonna hurt us.
Give me Lloyd, go ahead and give me a whatever, you're in nature, you're not gonna make you roll anything. As you're moving, you kind of see sticking out of the snow like some slightly bigger rocks. Like there's a nice covering of snow, so you're not gonna find like little sort of hand-sized rocks, but there's like little sort of football-sized rocks that still kind of stick out of the snow here and there. You're gonna try and grab one of those?
If it seems like it's the size that I could throw, yes. Otherwise, I'll do a quick snowball.
You're probably your better chance is probably a little snowball. Like those rocks are a bit big.
Look
So you
sharp,
bend down,
boys.
you start. One of the guards like, "Hey, what are you doing there?"
Fuck it. I'm gonna throw it at the machine flying in the air. Try to cause a little bit of a distraction. Get ready to run.
Get ready to rock and roll. All right, so go ahead and give me a shoot roll.
Okay.
So the way the system works, of course, is you use your attributes plus your skill. So your agility AC is 4, which gives you 4 attribute dice, and your shoot skill is 0, which leaves you with only your 4.
Okay, here
Agility
goes
dice.
nothing. Here goes nothing.
Looking for a 6.
I did not get a 6 or any 1s, but I would like to push it.
All right. So when you push your roll, first things first, you're going to get yourself some feral points. Go ahead and push your roll, and let's see what comes of it.
All right. I got 2. Oof. I got 2 biohazard.
That's 2 feral points.
Yeah. So you get yourself 2 feral points.
All right.
You actually get absolutely nothing. However, you also manage to score yourself 1 trauma to your attribute for each feral point that you've gotten. So you currently take 2 fatigue trauma to your agility as you get up and hurl. And just as you're hurling it, you realize how undernourished and just tired and sort of beat down you've been from, like, being living on your own out in the wild for so long, but also being on this chain gang for like a couple of days already and sort of not being fed. And just as you're like, oh, this is a bad idea. And then you feel like a bunch of things pop in your back.
Ow!
And then you launch that thing, and like you put everything you have into it, and you like fall on the ground, and then you look up just in time to see it fall about 5 feet in front of you as it hits into the snow and poofs up. And as soon as it hits, the guards sort of turn, a couple of the guards sort of turn and see that thing. And then a couple of them see what you've done, and one of them is coming at you, and you see it's gonna sort of knock you in the teeth with the butt of his gun.
Ooh.
When suddenly, sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, with this activity taking place, I think I'm gonna lean over to the guy with the gun nearest to me and attempt to dominate him, and say, "Shit's starting to go down. You better shoot that machine now, boy."
Yes.
All right, so let's make a your dominate roll. Remember to add your rank. Pacino is a bit of a different case than most of these exiles who usually have no rank. He is so well known and recognized throughout the land because of his scar and the work that he's done, that even as an exile, he has managed to accumulate.
So that's 1 toxic point, but 6 successes, or 3
Whoa.
successes. Sorry, 3 successes. So it goes down to 2 successes.
Right. So no problem at all. The guy that the animal that you're trying to dominate is like just completely. He's literally in the process of giving you his gun, as he's so like just kind of bewildered by everything in your presence.
Shoot it.
And just as he sort of offers it, and you tell him shoot it, you feel a tremor. All of you start feeling a tremor, like maybe there's like an earthquake or something sort of going down. And then you look around, you see that the drone is kind of circling the area as if it's sensing something or whatever.
Can I sneak into the bushes?
You get up and start sneaking your way into the bushes. You realize you're still chained to the other 2 guys on either side of you.
Okay.
So at some point you're like, and a couple of them are like looking up, and a couple of them are looking at the ground that's shaking. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, and in conflict with every known rule of nature, this giant shark comes erupting out of the ground. And as it does so, eats the guard that's standing in front of Pacino, who a minute ago was shaking in his booties. And all you see, Pacino, is this giant line shark just erupt out of the ground and just swallow whole this thing and sort of go over you and then dive in right behind you, right down into the ground again. So everyone roll initiative.
Oh my god. I'm going to use, what do I have? Fast reflexes on this one.
Okay.
I'm going to burn 2 feral points.
All right.
Nice.
So this is the guard that the shark has just eaten. And the shark has hit the ground there, and he's burrowed back into the ground. And from where you're standing, all of you feel the tremors again as this thing is kind of traveling under the ground. All right, I should still have a D6 so I can make an easy.
Yeah, this is gonna be a dumb question, Christian, but can you remind me how to roll initiative? Is it
Yeah,
just
just
a
roll
D6?
It's a straight D6.
All right, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So if you want on the map, guys, you can left click on your character and then you'll see a little window that pops up that says labeled. You can write your initiative there so that it'll be easy to keep track of. So this guy has been eaten, so we will remove him.
Oh my God, look at that thing.
That shark. You've heard of these before. You've heard of people who've lost, friends or in wagons, houses. One of the things these sharks do is that because of their size and their strength, they actually can go under a house and bring it down. All sorts of horror stories about this thing. So this thing has burrowed back into the ground and sort of disappeared again, and the ground under your feet is sort of shaking. All right, so what do we have as far as initiatives? Let's see, who's got the highest?
I rolled a 6
I'm just gonna
and I
say
added
that-
2.
I'm just going to say that one of the many scars that Pacino has came from a shark.
All right.
Oh, no.
In fact, you have a necklace with a shark tooth around it, and it's kind of part of what adds to your legend. All right, you, Macklemore, you've had occasion to see some of these things in action before. You've never been able to kill one. They're very, very difficult to kill. But the one thing you know is that you cannot really rely on the tremors in the ground to feel out where they're going to come out next. It's almost impossible. Literally, the only thing you can do is run. Like there's no way to anticipate where it's going to come from. So we'll start with Lloyd then, who's already got a couple of feral points going and is already sort of gnashing at the teeth, having used his power to gain the extra. You, for a moment, Lloyd, as you're sitting there and you're getting ready to getting yourself up, you see this giant mouth of a shark just sort of come at you and swallow you whole. And then for a minute, you're sitting inside this shark, and then the vision goes away and you're sitting in the snow, and Macklemore's trying to get into the bush and sort of pulling you by the chain, and everyone's kind of panicking at this point. No one knows what to do. The guards are shooting at the ground. The drone is still flying overhead. The people on the other chain gang are just completely panicking, running in different directions, just sort of hampering each other, falling on the ground. What would you like to do, Lloyd?
Well, I think I need to roll for feral effects first before I do anything, because I used 2 feral points, right?
Okay, yeah, so go for it.
Nope, I rolled a 4 and a 5, so I'm okay there.
All right.
So that's a breath of fresh air. I'm gonna try to now tell me about the chains. What are our we're in a state of bondage, would you say?
Yeah, so basically there are these fairly old kind of rusted chains that are linking one hand. So each of you has sort of a manacle around the right hand, and the chain is linked to that. And it looks like it's like some sort of, soldering job that was done later. They're all kind of linked. That's why there's 2 different lengths of one, but the chains are solidly attached to your right hand each, and you have your left hand free, but you're all sort of in a line like that. So you have maybe 4 or 5 feet of chain between you and the next guy.
I'm gonna do everything I can to slip the chain around my wrist and just pull my wrist out.
Pull your wrist out. All right. I'm just trying.
If I have to chew my hand off, I'll do it. I'm
you're
ready.
no. Fortunately, you do have the ability to move, which I will use for this. So go ahead and give me an agility
Okay.
plus your move. However, remember that you have 2 trauma to your agility, so you're at -2 on your agility.
Oh, okay. So that's 2, and then you
More
said plus
for-
my move.
Plus your move, yeah, which is just sort of like, kind of giving us an idea of how well you can maneuver your body.
My move is that's good. So that's 2, and then I'm gonna use my advantage point.
All right, so 2
to
more
give me
dice.
2 more dice, and those are skill dice.
Yeah.
So 2 more. Okay, so I've got 6 dice I'm rolling for this. Here we go. Ooh, that's not good. I didn't get any 6s. Is that bad?
Yeah, there's no such thing as just you know, a slight failure.
Can I push again?
You sure you want to?
You can.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
All right. Give it
That
a
might
push.
be a really bad idea. I feel like everybody's saying that. Is anybody shaking their head? Is there any body language telling me to not do it? God damn it. All right, I'm gonna do it.
All right.
Shit. Nope. I got basically the same roll. I got no 1s and no 6s, so that didn't work.
Okay. Well, as long as you don't have any ones, nothing
Yeah.
uber terrible happens.
That's
But so as you're trying to pull on this, you're trying really hard, and you can feel like the skin sort of starting to rip around your wrist, and you're like, and unfortunately for yourself, as you're doing this, you've started sweating, and the manacle is very cold because it is freezing, and now you realize that your hand is stuck. Currently, your other hand that you were trying to use to pull, so now you're kind of stuck like this as your skin is frozen to the manacle, and you find yourself now not even having a free hand to move with.
I don't have a pot to piss in, as they say.
That's right. All right, who goes next?
I think it's Mac.
Macklemore.
Real quick heads up, guys. We each got an advantage from Kai Whimsy.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Kai
All right.
Whimsy.
Macklemore, what would you like to do?
I think I'm also going to try to get out of these shackles. Hopefully I can do a little better. But we'll see, right?
All right. So yeah, same thing. Move and agility.
All right. So which dice are which for that?
Right. So you're going to use a number of yellow dice equal to your agility,
Okay.
and a number of green dice equal to your skill.
And that's which skill? Oh, the move skill. Okay. All right.
I know I haven't acted yet, but can I forego my action to assist him to help?
Yeah, absolutely.
Ooh.
So you can add yourself an extra dice, Macklemore, as Pacino sees what you're doing, and starts pulling on the chain on this side, just to sort of give you a little bit of leverage.
The yellow or green one?
It will be a green dice.
Green die. Yeah.
Looking for 6s. Well, I got 4 1s and a 6.
How many of those ones were yellow?
No, I lied. I got 5 1s.
How many of them are yellow?
4.
Okay, but you got a 6, right?
Yes.
All right, so you got a 6, and that's all that really matters. All right, so you got your 6. So as you're pulling, and with Pacino's help, sort of helping, lending his incredible strength to you, you manage to pull it out. It does hurt a whole bunch, and you do feel some of the bones in your hand kind of pop and go a little bit, and like, you know, your hand is feeling very sore after you've pulled out, but you find yourself free. That was your action. You can move if you wish. You can use a maneuver to move, having used your action.
So
With his 3 yellow ones, though, isn't that 3 toxic?
It only
ones?
matters if he pushes.
If you're pushing, yeah.
It matters.
Oh,
Thorns
right.
only matter
Okay.
on a push.
Get me
Got
out of
it.
here, Mac! Get me out of here!
So, you can use a maneuver, Macklemore.
all right, I'll go by Lloyd so I can help him next turn.
All right, you go over him and sort of try to help him up and kind of try to help him with the chain thing. Sounds good. After that, we have going at 4 is Pacino. You've foregone your action. You can, however, still take a maneuver if you wish.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to move within my zone, obviously, because we're chained together to act as like a body shield for the 2 that I'm closest chained to versus the guys that could potentially start shooting random bullets in their direction.
All right. At 3,
Question: was there a gun on the ground from the guy that got eaten, or did that go too?
no, the gun is lying on the ground there in the snow somewhere.
I could pick that up then, since it's kind of free to move what I did, and I still have my maneuver left. I'll pick it up and hold it out for Macklemore because I know he can use these things.
Okay. So you grab it. It's like a bolt action rifle. like a hunting rifle. You grab that. Meanwhile, at 3, Gump Worsley, the badger.
The metaverse is active.
That's right. Decides that he's going to make a run for it, and he runs out and tries to get to cover, but only gets about 5 feet away from Travis. And as he's running, he's pulling and he's looking at you. Travis goes like, "Come on, man! Come on! We gotta get out of here! This thing's gonna spot us! This thing's gonna eat us! It's gonna go! Come on, man! Come on!" As he's trying to convince you to start running with him, and in order to do that, he is going to do a dominate roll to try and convince you to move with him, which you can resist with your instinct. Your
Is
roll.
that sense of motion?
No, it's your instinct. So you roll a number of dice equal to your instinct attribute.
Okay.
Right. It's not very gifted in this, but we'll give it the old college try.
I'm guessing Paige is pretty good at instinct, hopefully.
And that is yellow dice, right?
Green.
Oh, is it green?
Yep. No, yeah, it's yellow.
No,
It's your-
yellow. Sorry, yellow.
Okay. No 6s, no 1s.
Okay.
Is he foregoing his action by defending that, or does
No, 'cause
he,
it's-
do you
it's
always
just-
defend dominate?
Yeah, it's just you don't have to forward your action. It's just a resistor roll. It's kind of like if
Okay,
like your armor protecting you from damage, kind of thing.
cool. Just wanted to be sure. Still getting used to the system.
Well, no problem. But you got no 6. He got no 6 either. So you're kind of just staring at each other. He's not very convincing. You're not budging. At 3, again, I have a few more people going. So the guards are sort of moving around you. Still shooting at the ground. A couple of them are trying to. They've just completely forgotten these guys on the chain gang now, and these guys are sort of stuck in there, just kind of all over the place. But as you're doing this, this guard has noticed what you're doing, and he sort of comes over. And this one's moving in, and they got their guns, and they're coming in. They're like, "Get down on the ground! Get down! You put that gun down!" Pointing at you, Macklemore, that you have the gun. Like, "Put that weapon down! Put that weapon down!" As they're sort of coming, and then, again, kind of suddenly, the shark makes a guest appearance.
Uh-oh.
As the ground where you are shakes, the shark comes out, grabs Gump Worsley,
Shit.
and dives through the forest. And Paige, you have about 2 seconds to sort of wonder at the spectacle that you've just noted, that you've just, had happen before you, before your chain pulls completely taut, pulled off your feet, and sort of projected forward. And Lloyd sitting on the ground, trying to sort himself out from everything that's happened, with his hand frozen to his shackle, looks up.
I got
at
nothing.
Malcolm. Hey, help me to get up, and then all of a sudden you're pulled completely out. Macklemore, you watch your chain and your bracelet just sort of slip by you, and then finally the last one, Pacino, you feel this pull. So you're pretty strong, Pacino, so I'm gonna give you a bit of a strength check here.
I'm not sure I'm that strong.
And I'm not sure that's strong either, but let's see what we can do.
This is like when you've got a bunch of crappies on the stringer out at the lake and a big northern comes by and starts gobbling them up. You're like, no!
So
I assume this is a force.
yeah,
I mean, it doesn't
strength
matter.
and force.
Force. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Forced.
All right. So that is a success. 1 success.
All right.
But I did also roll 2 1s in my attribute dice.
All right. Well, the shark got 2 successes. So you take one of his away, but with the one, he manages to pull you. And suddenly, all you see, Macklemore, is all these these guys, one after the other, just get pulled into the brush on the other side of you, and you're
With my
standing-
1 success, could I have used that instead to just grab Macklemore?
Sure, absolutely. That's so as you're being yanked, you realize Malcolmore is there, and he's got 2 guys aiming guns at him.
Yeah.
So, you just extend your hand at the last possible second and sort of grab him and you go flying. And again, to your dismay, once you cross on the other side of this little line of trees that was blocking, you realize that what lies on the other side is a cliff, and the shark is currently going right over that cliff and hauling you with him
Lovely.
as you get vaulting over this last little bit of land and hit the ground, get pulled off. I don't know if you saw the ending of the last Mission Impossible, right? When the helicopter falls, but this could happen. So the shark goes down, and then Paige, you hit the ground, and you're like, what the? And then and you go over, only to be followed by Lloyd, who bounces once and then goes over, and then the rather hefty package of Pacino and Macklemore sliding through, almost making it, and then at the last second going over. So I would like everyone to make me make me a strength and endure check, if you would. So your attribute is your strength plus your endure, which is your skill.
Ooh.
I'm going to use my advantage on this.
Okay.
Same. Me too.
Okay. Paige.
Okay. I am. You know what? I have like 2 advantages, so I'm gonna use one.
Okay.
Use one. So I add 2.
What are the stunts for endure?
The stunts for endure.
You can help a friend. Okay. So I got 5 6s.
Wow.
All
on
right.
On my 9 dice.
So, in a feat of superbarian capacity, as you're falling, because he's heavier than everybody else, Pacino catches it, and as he's falling, he's grabbing each one of you as he's falling down, and at the end, you're just this big ball of animals sort of rolled in to Pacino, and he's hauling you close,
Bear
and
hug.
he's aiming it. And as you're not falling very far, you're falling maybe like 25 feet to 30 feet or something like that. The shark hits through the trees, rolls through the trees, rolls the chain around him, and you guys are brought close. And Pacino aims it just right with all you guys, so that when the shark finally comes to an end, hitting a big boulder that he can't get through, you guys hit the shark full bore. And Pacino manages at the end to just sort of roll his shoulder and take the brunt of the damage for you guys as you.
What I do?
Sorry.
That's what I do.
As you penetrate
you.
the shark and find yourselves embedded in the side of it, and then lay there for a little bit, wondering what the fuck just happened.
What the fuck just happened?
Now, it's worth noting that I did not use any successes to save the badger.
Oh, the badger is the
You
badger.
could have, because I succeeded. I ended up.
I
getting
got a
it.
6 with my roll.
All right, no
Not
problem.
me.
Everyone managed to get out of this without
Teamwork.
taking
I'm assuming
too
the
much
badger got eaten. So
Yeah, when you extricate yourself from the shark, you find a few tufts of badger hair stuck to the back of your shirt. Gump Worsley, he made an appearance.
What a guy. What a guy.
So it takes a little while for you guys to sort of, extricate yourself from this situation and kind of come back. And even though you don't have physical trauma thanks to Pacino's heroics, you're all kind of pretty banged up, and this has taken the wind out of your sails a little bit, and you find yourselves all kind of sort of falling down and kind of passing out a little bit, and you're maybe like 10-15 minutes where you're like just sort of laying there trying to catch your breath and trying to just come to terms with the fact that this land shark just attacked you and tried to eat you and everything that's just happened, and really wondering if you're better off now or worse off than you were a few minutes ago when you were on the chain gang being taken to be sacrificed. I mean, could the jury's still out on that one.
Hey, Lloyd, Lloyd, my friend,
Yeah.
did you see this in a vision by any chance?
Yeah, so here's the thing, okay? I did see something very similar, but in my vision, one of us, I'm not going to say who, got eaten by the shark.
Well, one of
And
us
it-
got eaten by the shark, but it was the other guy. But
It was Gump.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't like that vision. Let's not do that again. Yeah, cool.
I would say my vision was half right.
Yeah, and you got some blood on your mouth, by the way.
Thank you.
What would you like to do? You find yourselves in this ravine. It's not like a gorge or anything. It's just like sort of the you went off the side of the mountain, so now you're like on the plateau, sort of just below it, and it's mostly forest around here. There's like another little mountain that rises a little bit further east of here, but right now you're in this sort of quiet forested area. The canopy of the forest is sort of protecting you from up high. So if there's anyone that's looking down from where you were, all they're going to see is the trail of destruction of the shark and likely assume that you're dead, but they might still come down and check out. So how about we go around here and sort of see what you want to do as you're sort of coming back from this whole experience. So we'll start with Pacino and go around.
The question that I have is, did Macklemore hold on to the gun?
Well, let's take a look at it. Macklemore, did you hold on to the gun?
I would have liked to have.
All right, so go ahead and make me a strength and a force, just to see if you manage to hold on to it.
He did get one success off of his endure that he didn't roll. Can that give him an extra die on this?
So you didn't take, you were too busy kind of hauling him and hauling everybody else, and his other success kind of allows him to not have taken any trauma from this or any damage from this. So
I'll use the other advantage because this might be cool to have a gun.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. A little bit of pew pew.
It would have been cool.
Are you gonna push or probably not worth it, honestly? You can if you want.
You want to
Why not?
push?
All right, go ahead and push. So you reroll everything that's not. If you have on your yellow dice, if you have a 1, you don't reroll those. You leave those aside. You reroll everything else.
Yeah, they were all just average in the middle. So I got a green 6 and a yellow 6, 2 green 1s, and a yellow 1.
Okay, so it's important. So you got the 6, so that's fine. You held on to the gun, but in doing so, you won the entire experience of just sort of being carried off the hill, being flung off of it, and trying to catch the gun, and landing in the shark, and then the whole thing kind of has got you really on edge. So with those, how many 1s did you have? 3 1s. All right.
Uh-oh.
So the yellow 1 plus any. And how many 1s did you have on the first roll?
None.
Okay, so they're all second roll. So you
Yeah.
get 4 feral points.
Oh,
All right, that's the good news.
Ouch.
The bad news is that holding on to this gun took everything that you had, and in fact caused you some trouble because when you landed, it kind of caught into something and then kind of barreled into you, quite literally. So you take 4 trauma to your strength, 4 damage to your strength.
what is
What is your
Macklemore's
strength?
strength?
The strength is 2.
Oh no.
That knocked him
He
out
doesn't
cold.
look so good, y'all. This
So-
guy doesn't look good.
You are currently broken. All right. The gun, when you landed, the butt of it caught on the rock or something, and the barrel of it punctured through you. And so you're looking for the gun at first, and then someone mentions that you're holding it, and when you look down, you can see that the gun is basically sticking out of you, and that's when you just drop, like you're broken.
Adrenaline wears off. Yeah.
Paige,
So,
you gotta do something, Paige. You gotta do something.
It's like panic. And I would like to try and figure.
well, we're gonna see what is broke. The fact that he's broken, he's gonna have to roll.
Oh, it's not good.
It's not starting off too well.
Not good.
Oh.
All right. If you guys have the PDF out and you can look for broken, the rules for that are.
Yeah. So in this case, he basically he gets a critical injury.
Yeah, that's what.
So you need. Yeah. Page 81. So whether he rolls or you roll, you just roll 2d6s.
I'm happy to let you roll if you want, Chad.
And then say that, don't add them up, just say the two numbers, but the order is important, so you have to decide which one is first and which one is second, and then just say what your result is.
Critical injury right off the bat. This is great. This is high drama right here.
And of course it's on Vamp.
You could die here, Vamp. This is
Green
it.
first, black second.
All right.
Okay.
Roll it up and say what the two numbers are.
Green 4, black 1.
41.
Oh, sorry to hear that, my friend. Sorry to hear that.
Well, I mean, he's a snake, though.
I know.
It's
very
isn't that
strange.
just like a chunk of his head?
Yeah, there's like a tin panic membrane right there on the side of the head, so it's like punctured.
Yeah. So part as something that happened because you were stuck with the gun, and whenever one of the chains from one of your companions hit you across the head as you were tumbling and all of that, and it ruptured, whatever serves as an ear for you as a snake. Unfortunately, it gives you
ear hole. Ow!
It gives you permanently a -1 to your scout.
Well, it's permanent until his healing is done.
Yeah. And it will take you 3d6 healing time.
Yeah.
Want to roll 3d6?
Wow. That's not great for a hunter.
No, it's not. What'd you get?
Roll 3d6.
Yeah.
Yep. 3d6 hours is how long this is going to take with healing.
Oh, it's hours?
Without healing, yeah, it's hours.
Okay.
But that's assuming that he is actually going to get healing from our healer.
We got a healer. We're good to go.
9 hours.
Okay.
So go ahead. So basically what happens is he can now attempt to heal you. And if he does, you'll recover your strength points, but you'll still have the effect of the injury until it's possible. Okay. So, if someone managed to heal you during a process of healing critical injury, the remaining healing time is reduced by half. Any roll to save your life, but does not count towards this. So we'll start by making a roll to save your life, right? Oh no, it's not lethal, your critical injury. So you're good.
It's not lethal, yeah.
So, Paige, you jump into action, you come over and you realize he's got, the problematic of the rifle being kind of inserted in his gut. But you also see that he's bleeding profusely off the side of his head.
Right. So this is where I'm going to have to try my best to treat him with the minimal amount of crap that we have available to us. We don't have like much for cloth or.
Well, you can rip. Someone can rip some parts of their clothes off.
Yeah, my flannel shirt is huge, so I think I just like ripped the cuff off of one, and that's probably big enough for his head because I'm huge.
The only problem you see, Travis, as he hands it to you, is that of course it is caked with grime and blood and all sorts of stuff. So it'd be good if you could disinfect it somehow.
Yeah.
No.
Well, it's
maybe.
Well, I was thinking like trying to clean it in the snow, see whether or not.
You do have
I
your
can-
thermos with you.
This isn't good.
I have the thermos. Okay.
Yeah. I had said the other day that your thermos was, you could hide it in your shell, and it was always you had it.
Paige, you think you can
Okay.
help him? Are you going to be able to save him, Paige? Are you going to be able to save him?
He's
Oh, this isn't good.
son of.
Not good at all.
Don't worry, Lloyd. I'll get it. And I'm gonna take snow. I'm gonna use the thermos to like melt the snow down, and then hopefully I could try to. More than likely, that snow is probably not perfectly.
Well, you can boil it in your little thermos thing, right?
Yeah, I could boil it. And I would assume that at snow there shouldn't be too much rolling in there, so it should be
It's
clean
pretty
enough
fresh.
from
There's a
snow.
little bit of shark
Yeah.
blood.
A little bit of shark blood, little bits of fur, like little bits of badger fur.
Little bits
Okay.
of Worsley.
So
get a
while
little
he's
bit of
doing
gump.
that, anyone doing anything else, or are you just sort of crowding around and checking them out?
I think I'm standing over Paige and just like trying to be that calming presence, like hand on his shoulder sort of thing, slow. You've got this. It's fine. Take your time. He's not dead yet. You can do this. That sort of thing.
All right, I'll give you a +1 dice for him helping you by trying to keep you calm. Lloyd, you going to try to help him in any way?
Yeah, I think I'm going to. So Lloyd he's upset. He just doesn't understand why Gump was eaten and not Lloyd. The vision should have been Lloyd. He's worried about his friend, the provider of the food, and I'm going to use my talent, my sudden visions talent, to essentially try to foresee as I kind of go into a trance. I take a little nibble off of the mushrooms, the psychotropic fungi that I have. Tell me what's gonna happen. Tell me. And I'm gonna try to see if Paige is able to save or heal my friend Macklemore.
All right, can you tell us how the power works?
So this is called Scry, and I'm using my sudden vision. So sudden vision just allows me to do it without a ritual. I do have a -2 to the roll for Scry as a result, but I did eat some of the magic mushrooms that I had recovered from somewhere, which gives me +2. So it's going to be equal out to be a 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I do is I have a vision of something that might happen during the session. That's called my Scry ability. So I roll Scry. I don't think I guess I don't roll any gear because the mushrooms kind of equaled out the thing.
Yeah.
So I think I just roll Scry, which is a skill. So that's a green die. And I only have 2 points in there, guys. This isn't good, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I got a 6. I got a radioactive symbol.
All right,
You also get to add your wits to that, don't you? Or instinct? One of the two?
whichever skill is attached to it.
Whichever skill it's based on.
Shoot. Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. Let's look at the
So it's Scry, and Scry will be pretty sure it's instinct, but
yeah, I think
Scry
it
is
too.
instinct.
It's got to
yeah,
be
it's
instinct.
instinct.
It is
All right.
instinct.
So
You
I'm
get to roll
gonna
your
roll-
instinct of that.
I'm gonna roll my 4 yellow dice here. I got nothing interesting on the yellow dice.
All right. So with 1 dice, you do have a success. So you decide what the vision shows, and you should describe it for all of us to hear. If the action you have predicted is actually carried out later in session, regardless of whether or not you're present, it is affected by your prediction.
And because I did roll a radioactive symbol, there is an additional die added to Paige's roll for this. I predict that in my vision, Lloyd takes his little nibble. Oh, show me, and he sees this sort of like image of this snake head, just sort of rotating in space, just a head. There are stars that sort of like circle and starbursts above the head, And then as it turns, I can see this ear is just pulsing with energy, and these sort of like sonar waves come out from the ear and then come back to the ear, and I get this strong sense that this will be successful.
All right. So you get to add Travis as Lloyd goes into this conniption and starts to describe what he's seeing.
I can see
It
it.
emboldens you. So you get to add 1 dice for Pacino's calm assistance and 1 dice for Lloyd's reassuring vision.
Okay, so
And those are skill dice. They're green dice.
skill dice. Yeah, that was going to be my next question. So I'm gonna hit the roll button. Thank you, son of a gizzard. I got 3 radioactive symbols and no
Nice.
ones.
Nice.
Very nice. Do you get stunts with your thing, or
With heal?
just the amount
Yeah,
of?
it just heals additional points. Each point,
Yeah.
each success gives an additional point of trauma healing.
All right. So you had 5, right? So you have 2 strength. You had 5 damage. We're not going to count the 3 that were over damaged, since that ended up being your critical injury, right? So you will heal the 2 damage that you have. All right. So you're back up to full on that, and then it will take half the time for your critical injury to heal.
So still at -1 to scout, but only for now 4.5 hours instead of 9.
And you're going to have a very nice, beautiful scar. You manage to pull the gun out from him and realize that it's missed all the major, bits and pieces. And it's mostly like, just dermal damage. You patch that up as best you can. You boil some water, melt some snow and boil some water and wash the cloth that he gave you from it, and clean the wound and, set all of that up. He's a little wounded. He's kind of laid out. So now that he has managed to save Macklemore, but he's still working on him, so it's going to take you maybe about a half hour to do all of this. What do you guys want to do? So your vision, Dave, worked out fine. You're laid out for an additional 5 minutes, kind of just tripping balls. And then we'll eventually come back to yourself.
I don't know what it's like.
Pacino and Lloyd, what do you want to do while Macklemore and Travis are in the healing arts?
You're
I think-
right. These guns are dangerous.
I think Pacino's putting, once he sees that Mac's not gonna die imminently, I think Pacino puts every ounce of effort he has into trying to free us from the chains. And I have no qualms about using the body of the shark and grinding the chain across, its razor sharp teeth if I have to start breaking chains.
All right, Lloyd.
Do we have the shark?
Yeah, the shark's right there. You extricated yourselves from it after you.
So Lloyd is having his sort of trip out thing, and then all of a sudden he looks at the shark. Whoa, Gump, and he's gonna dive into the mouth and try to find Gump. Where are you, Gump?
Still chained to you, man.
We gotta get Gump out of there.
Trying to
I'd like
help
to know
back.
that you were too far.
Pulled
So,
away.
doing his best impression of was it Ahab who was swallowed by the
Yeah, Captain
whale?
Ahab.
Lloyd is just in the shark, and you lose him for a while, and all you see is bits and pieces sort of fly out. And as he's digging, you at some point you see like a boot come out, and then there's like part of a tire, and then there's like an old mangled piece of machinery that comes out, and then there's a skull from some sort of creature you've never seen before and hope never to see again. Just a bunch of random stuff he pulls out of there, and in the end, as Pacino, using bits and pieces of the shark, manages to sort of free everybody else, and Paige manages to sort of make Macklemore comfortable and bind his wound and sort of start him out. Out of the shark, covered in blood from head to toe and gore, comes Lloyd, and all he's found is this raggedy old messed up t-shirt of some sort that is green and white and has a big N in the front, and on the back just says Worsley.
Well, he was the best badger that I ever met. He's the only badgers that I ever met, though. I'm gonna keep this, and maybe we can find his family and give it to them. I'll take the shirt and put it in my, I don't know, wherever I have to hold.
You just tie it around your waist.
It was meant to be, Gump. We'll always remember you. He was there to help us,
and then he wasn't anymore.
and then he wasn't there anymore.
As night is falling down on you guys, you realize that you're gonna need to find some shelter. You're gonna need to find some heat. You can get, as Macklemore, if you want, you can probably cut out a little bit of meat out of that shark. There'll be a skill attached to that.
Well, I'd say hunting instincts, but it's right there.
Yeah, no. So you're fine. You know, at some point you grab one of the shark's teeth or something, and you cut out a couple pieces of meat, and you wrap them up. You find, like, you know, some other piece of cloth. You wrap them. You get like a couple of pieces if you can find, you know, fire.
Was the shark wearing any kind of clothing or anything?
No.
Okay.
Just like, you know, anger. Really is what the shark was clothed in. But you can, if you want, also rip out a couple of teeth and give one to each of these guys, like yours, to act as your sort of little, you know, trophy. As the night is coming down, you see a little bit further off, like sort of through the trees, and a little bit up further near the mountain on the other side, you see some light coming on. You start seeing a little bit of smoke rise up, and there appears to be a building, although it's kind of hard to really distinguish the building from the rocks around it from where you are. You see a little bit of smoke, you smell it, and then you see some light sort of emanating from that. It's the only thing sort of anywhere around the area.
And while we were doing all our stuff, did we hear any shooting or anything else from where we came from?
Yeah, there was still some shooting upstairs for maybe like 5 minutes. Some screaming, and then it went pretty silent.
You guys
never-
smell that? What does it smell like? Wood smoke? Does it smell like
Yeah.
food?
Like a fireplace. You're probably too far to smell anything else, but it does smell like, you know, wood burning and a fair bit of it.
What do you guys think? We're gonna need some place to stay.
How you feeling, Mac? You feeling up to that? It's a bit of a hike.
It's cold out here. I'd like to go somewhere else.
All right.
Anywhere
I'll
would
start,
be
like-
better than here.
I'll start like leading us in that direction, and I'll probably just like hoist Macklemore up on one of my shoulders.
Okay.
Now, did you keep the chain for a weapon?
I don't think so. I think once the chains got removed, I think Pacino probably buried the chain because it's a symbol of something that he doesn't like.
All right. So you've buried the chain. I've put a picture in our Discord. So you start going through the forest. Macklemore leading you. Give me a hunting roll there, Macklemore, just to see if you pick up on anything sort of from the area.
All right.
So that'll be your
Hunting with
I'm assuming you're rolling is probably your scout.
yeah, okay.
No, I don't know. What's the hunting instincts? What's the
Well,
It's
hunt
agility. Hunt is agility.
Hunt is wisdom.
Wits?
Or wits, I mean.
The hunter's skill hunt.
Yes.
It's agility in the book.
I thought it said wits. Okay. Well, agility's better.
Oh yeah, you have strong instincts. You can spend 1 FP to choose your prey. You can follow this. Okay, so hold on. Maybe don't do that. Don't spend your point. Just do a scout roll. I know your scout's kind of banged up right now, but so give me your scouting plus your I'm gonna find your character sheet. Give me your scouting plus the thing attached to it, which is wits. So your scouting plus your wits. So number of yellow dice equal to your wits. Number of green dice equal to your scout, and -1 because of your current predicament.
Can I assist him to counteract that -1?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent.
There you go.
No sixes, no ones.
All right. So it's not that you get lost or anything. It's just that you don't notice anything sort of different or untoward or that sort of stands out. All of you, by the way, are very close to being starving, dehydrated, and hypothermic. So you're probably trying to get some shelter as soon as you can. As you cut through the forest, and the snow here is not too deep. It's like maybe half calf high. You kind of manage to make some good time. You'll climb up. It takes you maybe 20 minutes to get to where you saw that building, and where you approach, you see that building that I just showed you, which is kind of like sort of like a bunker almost. It's this huge square cement sort of building. There are two retrofitted chimneys on it. You can hear the sound of something humming in the back of it, and there are lights a little bit sort of throughout. As you approach it, you see at the door another animal there who's kind of wrapped up in a big winter coat, like a surplus army coat or something like that. And he's got a scarf around his neck, like a little wool hat, and he's got a spear, and he's kind of standing guard at the door. And as you approach, he sort of looks up and then turns around and knocks on the door. And as you're kind of coming up, the door opens and he speaks to someone inside, and then he kind of comes forward with his spear up, and he goes, "Who goes there?"
I'm definitely Pacino's definitely putting himself in front of everybody else, and just like lumbering forward, kind of arms dangling out to the side, not trying to seem threatening or anything, as he's just, meandering out of the tree line.
The hell happened to you guys?
Land shark. Wasn't pleasant. Mostly for the shark.
And Gump.
Right. The badger died.
Well, strangers, I have no clue what you're talking about, but sounds like you got a hell of a story.
Looks like you
Lots
got
of
some
them.
warmth in there. Kind of looking around to
Any
see what's in
chance
there.
your fire is shareable?
Yeah, I just sent someone to talk to the boss. Mike could be able to help you, but if you don't mind keeping your distance for a minute until the boss comes out, and sort of after a couple of minutes, the door opens and there's another animal standing there, and he sort of looks you over, and he looks at the guard and he nods, and the guard puts his spear down and sort of motions you forward.
I have the,
As we move forward, can we
gun
get any
behind
sense
me.
what they... Sorry,
Pointed down.
go ahead.
What's that,
Macklemore?
Vamp?
I said I had the gun behind me pointed down, so sort of out of sight for the moment.
Right. So right now you're not too sure about how well that gun's going to shoot, because it's been through you and through a bunch of gore, and you probably need to sit down with your skill at some point, your bowyer skill, and sort of give it a good cleaning before you would really, really risk shooting it. But
it does look intimidating.
it does. It does. You were saying, Miko?
Yeah. Do we have any kind of sense of what kind of animals these guys are?
Yeah. So the one that you're talking to is a fox. The one that came out and looked out was a dog. They both had like good gear on, as far as they looked like they were dressed for the weather, and they looked like they were healthy and all that, but not like it wasn't like they had uniforms. It wasn't like the other guys where they're all kind of wearing the same kind of gear. Like this looks like a bunch of different folk, kind of thing. But they're certainly sort of more comfortable in their little shack there than you guys are. So he asks you to approach over. Does anyone want to do anything before you walk on over? Or yeah.
First off, big thanks to Courier52 for the sub.
Hey.
Appreciate you very much. And then Lloyd10 is going to have they been invited in at this point?
The guard is kind of saying come up, but
motioning us forward.
He wants to talk to you guys before he kind of lets you go through.
I'm gonna try to size them up. I want to know what we're getting into here. Who are we dealing with? Are they, they look real badass? Do they look like Pacino could take them? That kind of thing.
Okay. All right. How do you want to do that?
I would use maybe. Could I use sense emotion to try to get a sense for if they're feeling as if they're kind of dominating right now, or
okay,
that kind of thing?
Hey,
thanks, Phantom. All right.
I buy that for $1.
Thank you, Phantom. So sense emotion, I've got 2. So, and then that is a instinct, which I've got 5 in. I just rolled 4 not biohazard, 4 radioactive symbols.
Sweet.
On my yellow dice.
All right.
Thanks, Mika, for the sub.
That's that's altogether pretty weird. It's altogether pretty good. Sorry, I was reading something else. Okay, so
good and weird.
Yeah. So no, I unfortunately read the word weird and it replaced what I was going to say. So you get a total read from like you're so on par. You still got the mushrooms, kind of like sharpening your senses to a certain degree. The read you get off this guy is one, you would say they're more likely. This is kind of like what you expected to find when you followed those rumors and went to that place. Like it looks like they're a loose organization. They're pretty confident, but they're not cocky. This guy's not aggressive. He looks like he's genuinely concerned. Finding 4 of you kind of wounded and all that. He's obviously sort of he looks like he's I don't want to say keeping a secret, but he definitely feels like he's guarded, like there's something sort of happening here going on that they're not too sure about letting people in, but it is vastly sort of overtaken by the concern he's feeling about you guys. Their gear is very disparate, so they don't have anything that matches, so it's not like it's an organized thing or whatever. But he looks quite confident sort of where he's doing, but suspicious. Like there's definitely that suspicion of, but all of this is kind of overridden by his concern. He feels very genuinely concerned about your well-being.
Yo. Look, I'm Lloyd. Pleasure to meet yous. We mean you absolutely no harm whatsoever. We just want to get warm. If maybe there's some food in there, great. If not, no big deal. But we just had a real tough day, and we're looking for some warm. We don't want to freeze out in the cold. You know what I'm saying? Come on.
We got food. We got warmth. Come on in. Just look. Some guys in there might be a little testy. We're sort of a little wary of strangers, but so just play cool. Even if someone kind of gets up in your face a little bit, just give him some space, give him some time. Our boss is pretty cool.
You got anybody tall enough to get in my face?
Oh, boy. He means the best when he says that kind of stuff. That's just him being nice. That's him being nice. And just a quick heads up, my buddy over here, Mac, he's a bit hard of hearing. So you got to just kind of speak up a little bit.
Rough country, eh?
I lost part of my ear today in a fall, and it kind of hurt. And ow.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. All right. You're going to love Hitch. It looks at you, but you're going to love Hitch. You're going to love it, Hitch. All right, come on in, guys. Get yourself warm and get some food. So you guys walk towards the place. The door opens. You walk in. The first thing you feel is the warmth of the fireplace. You hear chatter. There's a bunch of animals in here talking, and you smell food. And on that note, we will take a short break here and
Hey,
discover
Oh
what lies
yeah,
beyond the door, and which one of these guys is going to try to die next.
guys, we're into it. This is great. Christian, thank you so much for kicking this off. This is super exciting. We've already had a critical injury. We've got a hype train. People, Vampwickman is gifting people subs and throwing
Hey.
out an additional advantage to all five of us, and it's just getting crazy. We're gonna take a quick break. And then we'll come back in 5 minutes, and maybe we'll do some more mushrooms. Maybe we'll just kind of see what happens. We don't know. We'll be back in 5.
Cool.
See you, everybody. Thanks. Green light has been lit, my friends. We are back from our break. Thank you all for being here. Hey, thanks to hey Vamp, thank you by the way for throwing out a bunch of gifted subs. You are amazing. We got a hype train going at the very end of the before we took the break. So thanks for all being here and getting involved in that. We're gonna go around the table and do some quick intros. Why don't we start with our game master, the one, the only, the Bleak Season.
I think that's me. Hi, Bleak Season. Christian is my name. Find me at the Bleak Season on the Twitters. Or hanging around here, Guild Superior, doing some gaming, sometimes on R&R production, doing some gaming, you know, like just living the life, living
Like
the
you
life
do.
of the middle-aged nerd gamer.
Well, we're glad
Middle-aged?
that life path brought you to Guild Superior, my friend. It's been great
That's
to get
right.
to know you.
By
Looking
hook
forward
and
to
by crook.
many more games in the future. So thanks. You want to
Thanks
pass it
for
over?
Yeah, I'm going to throw it up to. I went to him last time. This time I'll go to him first because he almost just died. Chad.
Hey everyone, the Chad here, Vampwickman. Find me on Twitch here at Vampwickman, playing here on this channel a whole bunch. I'll be on the Gary Con channel for Founders and Legends in 2 Saturdays, playing for a wonderful cause again, Extra Life. Again, almost died today. Dave didn't almost kill me, but the night's not over yet, Dave. But just glad to be here. Thanks, Christian, for running this, and I'm having a blast. Even if you can't see my face, I'm smiling.
That's dedication to the role.
And then Travis.
Hi, Travis, also known as Eversalt. Find me on Twitch and Twitch here, or wherever else you might catch me. I tend to be a player. And you can find me on Twitter, YouTube, my channel, And man, I don't know what the hell happened. I must have hit my head on the way over here because now it's all jumbled in my head. But yeah, and I am having a great time. I like, not gonna lie, I took some of that break to go over and gush to my wife about the whole thing. It just happens. Like, dude, if you weren't watching, you totally missed it. It's already got crazy.
That's
Off the
great.
rails before it even got on the rails. So we like it. Thank you very much, Travis. And finally, my friend Miko.
Hey there, Miko here. You can find me on Twitter at _okayest_GM. You can also find a bunch of my homebrew stuff that I do, mostly published on D&D Beyond for my World of Ystera. Links in the chat for anyone that might be interested. And I am absolutely very much enjoying being a player in this fiasco.
It's only a fiasco if you all survive. All right. So quick roundup. Our friends had been taken prisoners and were to be offered as a sacrifice to the machines who guard and surveil Paradise Valley in order that the sun might rise again in the coming spring. However, some land shark with issues decided to take offense and attack the group while they were traveling up the mountain, eating one of their chain gang friends, the poor badger known as Gump Worsley, who unfortunately died bravely attempting to escape. But I do believe Lloyd has managed to recover his jersey from the belly of the shark. They went off a cliff, being dragged by that shark, rolled all the way down. Macklemore had succeeded in keeping a hold of that gun that he managed to grab at the last second, only to have it stab him right through the chest and hitting his head on the chain on the way down, breaking his ear, basically shattering whatever eardrum kind of contraption he's got in there. The rest of the group rallied. Paige busted out the healing skills. Pacino talked him through it with his calming presence, and Lloyd did some mushrooms. And everything turned out not too bad. Macklemore is back on his feet, still a little bit shaken with one of his ears not working correctly. But they saw off in the distance a little building, looks kind of like a bunker with some retrofitted chimneys, smoke coming out of them. They approached, were welcomed by some of the guards, and were led inside. And sorry, this is where we find them now. Inside this bunker area, where you find basically this looks like these guys have been set up here for a little while. So you see a number of animals in here of all different tribes. They're all, while they're all wearing different type of gear and no one's wearing any sort of uniform, they're all fairly well equipped. They all got winter clothing. You can see some weapons on there, not a lot of guns, but you see a lot of, spears and axes and sort of stuff of that nature. They do have a couple of a fireplace here. There's another chimney somewhere, so you're figuring there's probably in one of the back rooms there fire. But a number of them are out here. Fire is roaring. They got food on the table. They have sleeping quarters over there on the right. Some of the other rooms you can't see into right now. This door down here would be open also. And they welcome you. Some of them, so there's kind of a mixed reaction where some of them are like, oh, hey, come on in, guys. You need help or you need, and they're very solicitous and they're helping you in and they're getting you some hot beverages and some food and whatnot. And some of them are kind of sitting back, sort of giving you a little bit of the suspicious eye. You think mostly on account of the fact that you're strangers, not necessarily because of your tribe or who you represent or anything like that. But there's definitely a couple of them that are more sort of, cool to your presence. But no one said anything. Everyone's kind of just, still chilling out. And you've been made welcome. And as we reopen, you find yourselves having been brought in, given some seats around the tables here, some hot liquids and food being provided. And you've been here, let's say about a half an hour or so, sort of warming your bones by the fire there, just shoveling food in your mount. They have like a pretty decent selection of stuff, ranging from meat to any sort of they have like some vegetables, especially root vegetables, things of that nature, things they'll keep. And yeah, you're sort of finally, just feeling all right. You're hearing Michael Moore is starting to sort of, you're at the tinnitus stage, right, where you're finally hearing something. It's not something you want to hear, but there's something happening, so it's sort of coming back. Paige, you've sort of been able to refurbish your little canteen. You had a lot of fresh water lying around, so you've refilled your little canteen up. So you got that if you're ready to go. And as you're sitting there, there's a couple of the people who stand out here. One of the ones who stands out the most, and I'm going to just embiggen him here, is a dog whose name you find out is Hatfield. One of the things that you notice is as they're sort of introduced, and a bunch of them are introduced, I'm not going to go through all of them because I don't want you to remember all those names, but one of the things is that all of them drop the number from their name. None of them introduce themselves. So just a brief little aparté here for the people watching, because of their history as basically experiments on lab animals. These each of the tribe has different naming nomenclature, which usually, like, the dogs are named after astronauts. The reptiles are named after rock musicians, and so on and so forth. The bears are named after people from cinema. The badger was named after hockey. That's why it came up. That's why the Worsley thing came up. But these guys all drop the number, and some of them have names like Gus, or Red, or like some of them seem to really kind of have given up their sort of birth names, if you will, and don't seem to sort of follow that particular tradition. So as you're going, this one named Hatfield, which some of you may know is a famous Canadian astronaut, but it's like, all right, so you guys look like you've been through about 70 miles of rough road and then went through another 70 miles of rough road. Something about a land shark, like what's going on? What happened? Where are you coming from? Like, what's the situation here?
I think I'm gonna. Well, first of all, I have a question, actually, not to derail, but did I recognize anybody, or am I familiar with anybody that we've seen in this space, given how much traveled I am in the wilds?
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and say no. This will become clearer later, but there's no one here that you recognize, more than maybe I saw him once last spring somewhere, but no one that you talked to or
Okay.
would sort of remember beyond. I think maybe I saw him somewhere or something like that, but sort of nothing beyond that.
In that case, then I think Pacino is probably taking up a very centralized position amongst the crowd of his friends, and is much more in the vein of trying to watch out for everyone's safety, and playing that quiet, stalwart, don't screw with me or my friends kind of glare as much as he can, and letting the more eloquent members of the group speak.
Well, you do see at some point, as you came in, a couple of people saw you and someone leaned over and pointed at you and said something. So you get the feeling that as much as you don't necessarily recognize some of them, at least have heard of you or sort of, whatnot. And there's a clear, most of them sort of show a certain deference to your character, of course.
Okay.
Let's go around then. Paige, what's Paige doing?
God damn, I had double muted myself. That's great. Okay, so I'm getting the context that we're now the four of us together in this conversation with
A group of them, yeah.
Okay.
There's more of them. There'll be I didn't put a ton of tokens on, but there'll be a few more, catching some kip over in the little sort of bunk area on the other end. There'll be a couple of them coming and going, that kind of thing. I should also note that as you're in here, you hear banging and clanging sounds that seem to come from the basement or something like that. And there's definitely some sort of action or something sort of going on in the beneath your feet. Not like the land shark or anything like that.
Good.
A little PTSD from the shark attack. I would also like to say, Paige, as I'm asking you sort of what you're doing, you're eyeballing that fireplace there, because it's a pretty big fireplace, and it looks like they retrofitted it. They built that in here. It wasn't here before, so it looks a little bit kind of janky and but it's pretty big, and the flames in there are not enough to like really but they're on the border. Like you sat, kind of with your back to it a little bit, but you definitely know it's there.
Okay. So yeah, it's looking a little between just haggard from being in the situation we've been in, drugged through, and then dragging ourselves all the way up to here, and then having just that sense of like, I feel like that almost like blends in with just the slight unnerved, maybe like a hint of being unnerved a little bit at the table. And he's looking across this we just escaped from Chain Gang, actually. Land shark attack.
You boys have a crazy story. What's going on with that? A chain gang? What kind of chain gang were you on?
Well, Chain Gang, we were on a hike.
You were on a hike on a chain gang.
Well, Chain Gang's a bit strong. We were all, we're very well connected.
They'll look over at Macklemore and go, you got any other crazy detail to add to this particular situation?
So these guys, they were trying to sell us, apparently, and everyone was attacked by this land shark. Hence, you might recognize one of these, perhaps.
So he takes a look at a gun, and then you hear a couple of them go, "Oh, is that the guys?" So I guess they really did do that, right? And so there seems to be like they've heard of these guys or something like that. And Hadfield will take a look at the gun, and he's like, "This looks old, but aside from the fact that it looks like it's full of gore,
there's some snake in it. That's me."
Okay. You said you were taken by some guys? What did they want to do with you? What was?
Well, it's a long story, okay? Hey Mac, hit me up with one of them heaters. You got some heaters left? Anything? You got what do you got rolled up in your sleeve there?
I got some smokes. That's it.
Yeah. Maybe we should smoke on it. All right. Lighter. Is there an open flame?
There'd be like some candles or something on the table there for sure.
I'll just pick one up and Jesus. And then I'll pass it to the guy next to me. Kind of like a communal thing.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
We long story short, each of us in our own way were taken by these thugs, and well, they meant to take us to the sacrifice. You've heard of this thing? The blood sacrifice thing? Yeah, the winter's blood sacrifice. Real nefarious shit, these guys with the guns. It was terrible. If we hadn't had him, pointing over at Pacino, we would have been totally screwed. Okay? So, and we got, we're a good group, though. We didn't deserve none of it. None of it.
We heard something about that some gang had sort of gotten together and rustled up some people, and we're talking about, we thought it was just, crazy stories, the kind of stuff you hear, rumbling through the valley once in a while. I'll be damned, it's pretty messy business.
Yeah, you can see by my wrist and by Lloyd's wrist, these scrapes from the chains that they threw on us.
I'm not casting doubts on what you're saying. I'm
They're
just,
just bad folk.
it's really crazy. Do you need some more medical attention there? Are you okay? Or we probably have some medical supplies we could spare there. And he gets up and he goes in the back and starts rummaging through one of the boxes. As you're sitting there, you hear one of the voices from one of the other guys behind you that goes, sounds like a pretty good cover story. Someone trying to get in somewhere they might not get into usually.
Oh yeah,
Who
you
said
mean
that?
like here?
So behind you at the other table with his feet up on the table is a hare.
Wow, he's looking cool.
Yeah.
With the red fur, and he's got his feet up on the table, and he's chewing on a carrot, and says, you know, won't be the first time someone pulls a stunt like that. You know, pretend to be a damsel in distress, right? And people open up their doors, let them in. From the other room, you hear the Hadfield the dog go, Zidane, shut the hell up, would you? It's like I'm just saying out loud what some of us are thinking. I remember thinking. How do we know you guys aren't sent here by the Watchers? Like, sounds like that kind of cockamamie story that the Watchers would come up with. Good couple.
As soon as he says the word Watchers, I start glaring at him and just growling and making myself look as huge as I possibly can and start leaning in his direction, just casting my shadow as much over top of him as I can.
He drops his feet on the ground,
Whoa.
starts forward, goes, "You're might scary."
Guys, look here. We don't need any trouble. We legitimately need some help here tonight. We'll be gone in the morning. You don't like us here. I get it. But look, why would we want to get in here? I mean, you guys, there's nothing here we would want besides all that good food and the warm fire, and yeah, it does seem a little suspicious. You're right. But we're the good guys, right, guys?
As Hadfield comes back into the room and he brings some supplies that he gives you, Paige, some medical supplies. It's like, don't pay any attention to Zidane. He's the paranoid one in the bunch. There's always one in any group, right? And that's ours. Zidane goes, yeah, maybe that's just it. Maybe I'm just paranoid. Puts his feet back up on the table. Maybe I'm just paranoid, but you know, if I was looking for someone to cover for a bunch of spies, I mean, I don't know what kind of a defense you can expect from a dog. We all know what they're like. And as soon as he says that, Hadfield sort of crosses over and Zidane stands up and they meet face to face. And you get the feeling that it's not the first time these two have kind of come to each other. And Hadfield sort of towering over him and he's like, you got something you want to say? You've been dropping hints left, right, and center ever since we got here. You want to get something off your chest there, Zidane? And Zidane's like, I don't know. You know, we all know what you and your guys are like, right? You know, we know you're the ones who are, so as a little parentheses here, you know that generally speaking, the dog tribe has been known to collaborate with the Watchers fairly regularly, and they're generally fairly mistrusted by the other tribes, whereas the hares tend to be the ones that are the most sort of gung-ho and rebellious of the bunch. So the two of them are there and everyone's kind of like moving some room, and you hear someone behind you go, I think they're finally gonna go at it, you know? When you hear someone say, go get Hitch.
Can I just start like bellowing, laughing? Just like giant belly laugh, full on echoing throughout the room, just laughter. You know, hares and dogs both taste good, right?
What do the rest of you guys do when he comes up with that? Macklemore, what's Macklemore doing?
So Macklemore is gonna be like, guys, it's smart it's smart to look at the danger of everything. Believe me, I'm a hunter. I feel like if we were here to do something bad, I'm not gonna walk in here with a gun and just sit down with half or part of an ear or whatever's left of. It's still bleeding. Shit. You guys, we just wanted some rest and some warmth and some food for the night, fellas. We're not trying to do anything bad. We've come from a bad situation. We're just trying to, be our own clan now that, we got snatched up unfairly. Anybody else want another smoke, by the way? I'm going to have one.
Paige, what's
Paige.
Paige doing with all this?
Like while Backlemore is like giving his entire speech there, I'm like, I have the supplies, and then he as he's saying, oh, she's still bleeding, and I'm trying to help him by redressing the wound, and just like, you stay still, Max, you need to stay still. He's just like,
Classic.
moving about. You're so animated right now. Like this really hit a touch point with you. And that's what Paige has been focused on at that whole time.
And as you moved around to try and help him, and the tension is rising into place, now you're in full view of the fire, and you're trying to help him, and tensions are kind of rising all around, and you can just see that fire in front of you, and like it's really kind of starting to mess with you. Macklemore, as he's like trying to help you, you can see he's got a little shake going on as he's trying to like redress your wound on your ear.
All right, I'll stop moving around and let my friend help me. I know he's a good guy, so.
And Lloyd, what's Lloyd doing as Pacino is bellowing out his belly laugh?
Ha 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 ha! Look, fellas, Hatfield, is it? Look, just out of curiosity, what the hell are you guys doing out here in the middle of nowheres? This is you guys got a great place here. What's going on? Who are you guys?
So Dane's like, ask a lot of questions. And I feel kind of.
I do that when I'm nervous.
Hatfield looks over at you, Pacino, and sort of like backs down a little bit. Can tell there's still like sort of a lot of that tension sort of going on. And then as you're staring at that, you hear from behind you a woman's voice that says, "So you're a Pacino, huh? The great Scar himself. Heard a lot about you."
I'll just turn and look.
When you turn and look, coming out of the room back here is a female bear.
Oh shit!
Things about to get real. She comes out, closes the door behind her, and comes out here, walks over to you, goes, well, I certainly never thought we'd get great old Scar himself gracing us with his presence. Are these two clowns acting up again?
Yeah. I keep telling them that they taste very, very good, no matter which one I were to eat. But they still keep mouthing off.
Well, I'm pretty sure that if you were to eat Giddles a day in there, he'd probably give you a stomachache for a couple weeks after that.
Worth.
His name's like, look, all I'm saying is that this is fucking weird. This is suspicious. We know the Watchers have been getting on to us, right? And if it's not this guy, and he kind of just flicks his hand at Hatfield, there's someone in here who's fucking telling tales out of school. You know it, and I know it. And now all of a sudden, these fucking whatever freaks come out of nowhere with their fucking story about the fucking land shark and falling off the cliff and getting kidnapped and that. I mean, you couldn't invent a better story if you got drunk and stoned and started telling lies around the campfire. It's just a little too much, all right? Just a little too much for me. So you want to welcome these fools in here? You want to take that risk? Yeah, you're the boss of this Operation Hitch. But I don't got to sit around and wait for the fucking Watchers to come down, called by this fucking guy, or you guys, and fucking haul my ass down into the labyrinth, all right? She says, why don't you just go and take a little walk outside there, Zidane, and cool yourself off. I'm always the one who has to go outside. There's some bullshit.
I'd be happy to go on a walk with you as the dame.
As
If
he
you
walks
want
out-
some company.
Well, as he walks out, he's going to eye you. He's going to try to dominate you.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yondo,
All right.
thanks for the follow, buddy.
So he will attempt. You can resist. You will do your own. You will roll your dominate and your instinct. against
So
him.
the one on the green die doesn't matter, right?
That's right.
Okay, so 4 successes then.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and assume that neither of you are going to recognize each other's rank. Or would you respect his rank?
I mean, I don't know what his rank is, so
Yeah, well,
me, I don't. Like,
basically, you know, he probably is about the same as you like. And the fact that he's clearly some guy that's known here. He's got some pull. You saw some people nodding when he was talking. So you would
Okay.
assume probably like around a 2 also. So we can just sort
do
of-
you want me to? Well, I rolled mine with the 2, so
Okay.
I guess he can roll his with the 2.
I'll do that also. All right, so what do you got?
4.
4 successes. All right, he's got 2. So
Ooh.
he brings down your. So he stands up for a little bit, you know, as you're kind of looking and lording it, and you can feel like he's got some spine. Like he stands up, you know, he's looking at you, but then you catch the little twitch there, and he just like he's been sizing you up, and now he knows that there's no winning that fight, right? So he's like, done eating anyway. This fool can have my scraps. He turns around, he walks out. A couple of the others walk out with him, and they go out. That feels
Be
like,
careful out there.
Yeah. And it feels like, well, I'm finally eating peace. Itch looks up at you and goes, sorry about that.
Oh, it's nothing off my fur.
Many of them
I just
follow
don't
our
like-
tracks. You'll see the shark back there. I don't know if y'all want shark meat or shark stuff, skin.
It's not a bad idea. I'll get a couple of my hunters to go out there. We can certainly make something out of that carcass. Would you mind? She points at one of the other hunters that's there and goes, would you give him some indications where we could find that shark? I guess just follow the trail of blood back all the way to it, I guess.
Absolutely. And I basically tell them the direction we came from and stuff.
All right. She's like, so captured, put on a chain gang, about to be sold. The tribes were okay with this?
Tribe elders do what tribe elders do these days.
Yeah, times are hard all over, eh? Well, you know, that's what happens when you got fear and paranoia ruling all over the place. People start to lose sight of what's good and what's true. Start to lose sight of the ability to judge people and situations on their merits rather than by their fears. Take it, you guys don't have homes?
Not no mores.
You seem pretty handy there with that that gauze there. I got a couple guys that got some wounds. You think you could give them a look later on and see if you can what you can do for them?
Yeah, I think I'd be more than happy to help. It's the least I could do for you letting us in.
No problem. Hey, you guys want to see something?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Come with me. Hadfield, you gonna make sure that Oddhead outside doesn't do anything stupid? It's like, yeah, I'll look into it. Can you look to find a couple extra bedrolls for these guys? And I guess they might leave tomorrow, but so, you know, start putting together a couple of packs, some food, some stuff in case our friends decide that, you know, our house is not for them, but I guess we'll see how they feel later. It's like,
Can I do a sense emotion check on like the two of them to see if there was like a subtle hint to not just necessarily check up on the hair, but maybe do something more.
Go for it.
Like rough them up.
That's 2 successes and no ones. I'm on a
All
hot
right.
streak.
On the hot streak. No, you get the feeling that this is like they've been through this before. That like this is like the X time that this happens, and she's basically, just saying like, keep an eye. He's a hothead. Just make sure he calms down. Don't let him come back in before he's calmed down. Kind of thing. And it's really more of a, this happens regularly. There's no hint of anything more sinister to the whole thing.
Is there a carrot anywhere on any of the tables?
Yeah, there's like a big on a couple of tables. There's like a basket with like tubers and stuff like that, right? Just like carrots and a bunch of different things.
I'll pick up one of the carrots and I'll hand it to Hatfield and I'll say, "Tell him this one's from Pacino."
Likely to stab you with it in your sleep, but I'll do just that. What's in his pocket? Hitch looks at you and goes, stirring trouble 1 minute and making peace the next. Yeah, man.
I just don't like people accusing me of working with machines.
Well, you know how those hairs are. You got one yourself, I see. They're always like, right?
Whoa.
I just like rub the top of Lloyd's head a little bit and say, "No, this hair's better than the rest."
Oh, no offense,
He's also covered in blood, but
Well, we can get you guys some clothes, to change clothes. Come with me. I'm gonna show you something.
Really?
So she takes you into that little room where she came from, and you realize there's like some sort of grating on the ground that's been completely sort of blown open, and there's some blasting, evidence of blasting being used. She gets down, starts going down a set of metal stairs that have been jury-rigged and sort of placed there. You guys go down to the dark hole.
I'll lead the way.
You get down. As you start getting down, you realize that you're in kind of a shaft, and then it opens up. And then when you come down, you're in a room. There's a bunch of other guys there, or a bunch of other animals. I keep saying guys, but you know what I mean. A bunch of other animals stripped to the waist. They got mining equipment, and they're sort of digging. And then when you come down, you're in a room that's maybe like, it's not very big. It's maybe like sort of 20-ish feet sort of around. It's clear that it was a smaller room, probably like a square room, and that they've busted down the walls of it and have been digging. And it looks like they've been at it for a while. You see evidence of like they got a system to pull out the stuff that they're breaking. There's a couple of lights in the air. They got lanterns down here. The sound you were hearing upstairs is probably a generator of some sort, because there's cables that run down and power some electrical lights that are in the area. When she comes down, she tells the guys, "Hey guys, how about you break and go get some food before as the day and his bunch come back." The guys kind of eye you a little bit side-eyed, and then one of them sees you, Pacino, and sort of nods like he recognizes you, or like, has heard of you or something like that. They go up. So in this room, the thing that grabs your attention the most is at one side of it in the wall that has been excavated, there is a ginormous door that looks like it's made out of steel and looks very, very solid and there's a big red stripe with some words and stuff you don't understand coming down the side of it, and then there's some yellow and black stripes on the other side, and you can see a nuclear symbol painted in one corner.
What is this?
I walk over to it and start sniffing.
Right now it smells of blasting powder, sweat, dust, things of that nature.
So you guys, you found something pretty interesting down here. Hitch, right? Hitch?
Yeah.
With all due respect, what the hell's going on down here?
Well, that's what we're trying to find out. You guys heard of the labyrinth? The labyrinth is a series of tunnels that apparently are built all over beneath Paradise Valley.
What?
That's where the Watchers come from, and that's where they tend to take people, or so people say when they capture and take our brethren down there. We don't know where this one leads to, but we got wind that there was probably an access point to the labyrinth in this area, and came down to investigate, and lo and behold, there's a door.
What if this is this labyrinth thing that you are looking for? What are you gonna do then? You gonna go inside this place? It sounds really dangerous.
Well, you see, sure, it's dangerous, but and as she's talking, there's someone who sort of yells from the thing. Hey, boss, Hatfield wants to know if we're gonna go back to using the dynamite, and she yells back, goes, I don't think so at this point. We might as well get some of the crates pulled out of here. I don't want any accident. I don't think the structural integrity of this place can take another blast. So once I'm done down here, send a couple guys to get the crates back up just to make sure we don't, run into any issues. I was like, yeah, all right, got it. And you notice a couple of the crates that are on the side that you thought were maybe filled with rocks or something. You now notice a little sort of explosion symbol on one side of them. We were using that originally, but to blast through some of this rock, but it's not doing a dent in the door, unfortunately. Yeah, danger. You were saying danger?
Real dangerous. This stuff.
You don't find it dangerous enough already, running around outside with all those machines and those drones and those land sharks running around?
I mean, there's an order to things out there. There's the tribes. There's the Watchers. It's like, I mean, it's just the way things are. Well, I don't understand what's going down here with you guys and this. I mean, everybody, to your own business. That's great, but I mean,
Lloyd, was it?
Yeah, Lloyd 10. Pleasure to meet you.
Lord 10. You're satisfied with that order upstairs? You think that it's the way things should be?
Well, I mean, other than getting kidnapped to be sacrificed and all that business, I mean, there's just, I mean, I don't know. It's just the way things are. It's for a reason.
You guys were about to be sacrificed, right? The tribes paid these thugs to have you sent up there and sacrificed. She looks at you, Malcolm Moore. She goes, you okay with that? You think that that's right?
I can't help but to think that I might have been on the other side of that door soon, and all this would be gone, and my life would be over, and that's horrifying and saddening. My only fear is, like the gun I brought in here, they all have them, and the flying things. That scares me too.
What about you? She looks at you, Paige. You scared?
I wish nobody had to be sacrificed. So sometimes it just feels like the harder decision.
This one here, I'm sure he's not scared. You're not scared, right?
If you're smart, you're scared.
But you do something about that, right?
It's better than succumbing to it.
See,
what do you mean by do something exactly? I'm just trying to understand here. You're gonna go do something about the order? Disrupt it?
well, I think that's maybe getting ahead of ourselves a little bit. But some of us got together and started thinking that maybe we weren't satisfied with the way things were. There's clearly a world beyond those fences out there. Why can't we go there? Why can't we access it? Why are we being watched constantly? Why are these things taking us away, taking our people away, our friends, our family? And why do we just accept it? Oh, for sure, there's danger in upsetting the status quo, but some of us got to thinking that Maybe we only think there isn't another way, and maybe because we think there is another way, there isn't. But if we change our way of thinking, if we decide that maybe something should be done about it, maybe a way will present itself.
But
This is
look
my
at you.
family. I would do
there's-
anything to keep them safe or make them better. So that's important to me.
I get
Yes,
that.
but look at you've got what, a dozen guys here? What I mean, a dozen guys against.
We have a dozen guys here. We have a few more people scattered around.
I'm not saying you're
Look.
wrong about this. I just think it's tough. It's an uphill fight.
Scar,
Why do you keep calling me that?
that's what people call you.
All right. Well, regardless of whether or not I've got scars, regardless of whether or not people think what they do, you don't go over the fence. Too many of us have died doing that. If you want to do something with this door or the labyrinth or whatever, you got to be smart about it. And no offense to you and your crew, blowing up a bunch of rocks makes a bunch of noise. Your rabbit friend, he liked talking about, you guys getting ratted out to machines or collaborators or whatever. You're just making a lot of noise. You gotta do something more than make noise. You gotta do something about things. And right now, all I see is noise and a door you can't open. So if you're trying to convince me and my friends here of something, I'm sorry. You gotta say something a little more than this.
I'll tell you something else. She goes over, puts a hand on the door. The thing is not the door. The thing is what's behind it. We don't know what's behind it. And you know what's keeping us down is that we don't know. We don't know who controls these machines. We don't know who built them. We don't know who put us here. We don't know who's keeping us out. We don't have that information. But that information, she taps the door. That information is there. And that's the first step. You say we got to be smart. We're trying to be smart. Right now, we don't have the means to be smart. So we got to go the old way a little bit. We got to use some force, some strength, break some shit down. And then once we get in there and we get some secrets and some information and we start understanding who they are, how they operate, what they want, then we can start getting smart. And you want to know why I'm calling you Scar? I'm calling you Scar because that name that you have, Pacino, that's a name that they gave you. Someone in there gave you that name. And until you're willing to reject that, that's who you are. You are the thing that they created. And your scars are proof that you're smart because they're proof that you've survived. You've gone in there, you faced the danger, and you got out alive, and now you're smarter for it. And those smarts and that strength and that courage and your ability to see things and your ability to heal people and your ability to fight and hunt down and track down food, those are things, they're tools that when you put them together in that equation, you get an answer at the end. What that answer is, we don't know yet, but we got to put all these tools in line, get them all working together, pulling in the same direction. And then once we do, then we get in there. And then once we get in there, we find out what this is all about. And when we find out what this is all about, then we do what needs to be done. You build a wall by laying the first brick. And then you lay another brick on top of it. And then another one next to it to support them. And then another one on top and another one next to it to support. And then you can go a third row. And that's how you do it. And right now, we got a whole bunch of bricks lined up. And they're slowly, the wall is being built up. And very soon it's going to be strong enough to support anything we need to do. But we need more bricks. We need more people willing to help the ones standing next to them willing to pull up the ones standing underneath them, willing to support the ones standing on top of them. You guys, the only reason I brought you down here, the only reason I'm even talking to you about all this, we could have just fed your faces and kicked you out. But the reason I did this is because your story told me one thing, that you guys stuck together. You guys helped each other out. You guys found a way to shore up your weaknesses, your individual weaknesses. And in doing so, became stronger and survived a land shark. Not a lot of people can say they survived a land shark attack. On top of that, you were chained and under guard, and you survived. You stabbed yourself with your gun. You know, no one's perfect.
That was cool.
I held the gun though.
Lloyd's gonna go up and while Hitch is talking, sort of just look at the door, sort of run his hand on the metal. I'm guessing it's a metal door of some kind, a hatch, and just sort of like examine it fully to try to comprehend the idea of what Hitch is trying to convey. Because he's open-minded. He's a little, he's trying to struggle with the idea of something different than what he's understood his whole life. Just running his hands up it. So you're saying that if we get this door here open, that we're going to understand a little bit more about why we're here, why those machines fly above us, why there's a fence around this entire place. We can answer a lot of questions by getting this one door open.
Maybe this door only takes us to another door, which takes us to another door, but at least we're getting somewhere. We're moving. We're finding out things. I'm not saying all the answers are behind this door, but there are hundreds of these doors all over the place. You gotta start somewhere.
You know what, Paige? I think I need to shroom on this a little bit. Yeah. Give it
Do
some
what you
thought.
gotta do.
Yeah.
You sure? You sure about that? I mean, I'll sit by you.
It's a lot to take in. Admittedly, Hitch, it's a lot.
Well, look, you're welcome to stay here with us a couple of days, see what we're all about, talk to some of the others. You want to put in a bit of sweat, that's fine. You don't. You want to sort of just get some rest and get a lay of the land. I'm totally okay with that. We're not going to just pop you in the head. Like, you want to leave, you can leave anytime you want. All right? You got my word on that. Stick around. Talk to the others. Yeah, Zidane's a bit of an asshole, but he's one of the first ones that put all this together. That guy's got drive. Talk to some of the others, feel it out, see what you're saying. You got some ideas about doing this? No one knows we're up here. We got all the time in the world. And as she says that, you hear a loud rumbling upstairs and then the sound of an explosion. And then people start screaming
Oh, shit.
upstairs and yelling that something's incoming. It's like,
Okay, then.
what now?
What the fuck?
She starts running, starts climbing up the ladder.
My first instinct is to look around for a weapon. You said they had digging.
Yeah, they got pickaxes, shovels, boxes of dynamite, all sorts of stuff.
Okay, I think I would grab a pickaxe or just whatever is,
Yeah, no problem. There's
whatever's
there for you to
handy.
Grab. Yep.
And
Anybody else?
start making my way up.
Lloyd,
I'm
I mean-
gonna follow. I'm following the bear. Following Pacino.
Macklemore.
Anything that looks like a knife or an axe, yeah, I would grab that too.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all sorts of tools down here. You can grab whatever you want. That's in there.
They have a sledgehammer for breaking rocks.
Yeah.
I'll take the sledge instead.
You got
Hell
the
yeah.
sled.
Okay. I'll pick up
Mage?
that pickaxe.
All right.
Yeah, pick up pickaxe.
You start climbing upstairs. As you get upstairs, you can see some of the other guys that are here start running outside, and some are running back in. They're like, "Watch her! Watch her!" And as you,
Great.
perfect. And as you head outside, and so you come up from the stairs. Hitch has gone outside. Hatfield also will be outside at this point. couple of the others are outside. Some of the others are sort of running back inside. Not too sure what to do. You guys come out there. I'll let you decide sort of if you want to go outside or stay in here or what you want to do. But coming down the way, crashing through the trees.
Oh shit! What?
Whoa!
Is
Whoa.
Oh no!
a watcher, but one unlike anything you've ever seen before. He's walking very sort of like kind of, jerkily, like things are not all firing on all cylinders. He's ginormous. He's like 10 feet tall. And he's sort of coming, but he looks really old, and you can see like oil and stuff dripping out of him. A lot of his armor plating is kind of gone. He looks like, he's either had a really rough time or he's kind of an older model or something, but he's walking down and he's got guns on his arms. And as he's approaching, he's starting to fire and he's raking the ground with the guns, and guys are trying to get some cover, and he's shooting at the bunker as he's approaching. And you realize most of the other guys just have spears and stuff like that. There he is, about 10 feet tall, something like this. He's coming out of those bushes. So
Holy
let us
shit.
do an initiative, and then you guys can tell me. So zone-wise, we will consider the inside the fort to be a zone. Then we'll consider sort of this area here to be, within. So this area will be the melee zone. This will be here, and then immediately around the trees here will be there, and then beyond that, like over here and up there, will be the long range thing. Okay.
Christian, is there any chance that my fatigue would have been assuaged here?
Yeah, in the time that you got some food and some rest and all that, you guys are ready to go again. So let's roll some initiative.
I got a
How many-
6.
Write it on your character. Like
I did. I'm just happy I got a 6.
Yeah, that's good. I got a
You guys are
5.
doing well for me with initiative. Not so much
Nice.
the skill.
So if you need the stats for whatever you've picked up, the sledgehammers, whatnot, if you look on the cheat sheet on the 4th page, I can tell you
Nothing about
sledgehammer
anywhere
is.
up here.
Hold on, the sledgehammer gives you.
I already got the sledge. Yeah.
Okay, cool. You took. We'll say it's a spike club. Will be the pickaxe. And who else had taken something? Macklemore.
I was going to grab a weapon from down there. I wouldn't assume there'd be a bow down there, but is there anything up here that would be ranged?
Is there anything up here? Well, let's see if they do have a bow, because they have a bunch of stuff up there. So let me just do a little roll here quickly, and we'll just see if they have. Oh man, I got a radiation sign. So yeah, as you're coming up, right next to you, there's like that place with all the beds and stuff, and there's like a bow that's stashed on the side, and there's like a quiver with like, we'll say. There's a quiver with 9 arrows in it that you can grab on the way out.
I'll snatch that, assuming that the gun probably doesn't work right now.
Well, the gun, if you shot it, I would have you do a check, because you haven't had time to sit down and work on it. So it's not the greatest bow, but it'll give you a +1 gear bonus to shoot and weapon damage of 1. All right. Anybody else grabbing anything?
I think Lloyd would have grabbed a couple of potatoes out of the basket.
All right. Not a problem. They will give you +1 to your throw, but not really do any damage.
But
But,
maybe distract.
Maybe distract. All right. So looking at first up, anyone fired off a power before we start the initiative?
I'm glad nobody grabbed the
me.
dynamite.
I was expecting you to.
I don't know what the dynamite is. Never heard of it.
All right. So at 6, we got both Macklemore and Pacino. Let me see what we got for Hitch and her crew. They're going to go with 3. Hitch, as she comes up, pulls out from over her back. She's got like this kind of massive sort of sledge that's like a sledge on one side and like a kind of a pike on the other side. So we're all wrapped in leather. So she grabs that. Hadfield comes out. He's got a pistol. The other guys have like spears and axes and machetes and things like that. All right, so 6, both Macklemore and Pacino.
Since you're shooting, do you want to go first, Mac?
Sure. So I'm gonna run outside.
Well, so you don't want to run outside. So if you run outside, you're in melee combat, so you're gonna have a penalty for shooting. If you shoot from inside the house, just one range out, so you're at 0 penalty to shoot. So you probably want to kind of pop in that door there.
All right.
Shoot.
You could also use a maneuver to take cover. At least get some armor, cover
Remember,
armor
if you
to
get
the
attacked,
damage.
you can give up either your action this round if it hasn't gone yet, or the one next round to attempt to dodge or to protect yourself.
Probably do that next round. I'll shoot this round.
So you're shooting using your agility and your shoot skill, Natch. You add +1 dice for the bow.
Okay.
And the black dice, that's a black die that you add.
Okay. Let's see how we do. I've got 2 6s and a green 1. No yellow ones.
All right, so that's good. You fire your shot, pretty well aimed. It goes in, it hits the guy. What are you going to do for a stunt? You got 1 damage plus 1 damage for the bow, so that's 2 damage. And now you can do a stunt with your extra die, your extra success.
There's no way to like. Is there a way to have him? The weapon's part of him, so he can't drop that, right?
It does also decrease his initiative if you do that, though. So even if he can't drop the weapon because he's physically enabled, it would reduce his initiative.
Yeah.
Either that or him falling to the ground would probably be good if that works as a stunt.
Okay, I'm looking at your. I'm gonna say that it's impossible to have him fall to the ground because he's really huge, and you're using an arrow against him.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that doesn't work, but I will say the same thing that if you, you know what? If you want to do that, he's not gonna fall to the ground. But what your arrow does is it hits a hydraulic connection, and like as it does that, like his knee sort of freezes up, so like he can't move. And I'll say that he loses one of his movement maneuvers for that shot because now he's kind of trailing his leg behind him. All right. So
Awesome.
you got 2 damage on him. Plus, I need my notes here. You got 2 damage on him. Plus that issue. I didn't make a sheet for taking damage on. All right. So 2 damage plus -1 to movement. All right. Cool. All right. So your arrow flies out, hits him like right sort of like in the leg. You take an arrow to the knee, hits one of the hydraulic links there. You see like dark liquids that are spurred out, and like his knee's not working the way it should anymore. Pacino.
So I have to use a 1 maneuver to get up to him, right?
You're within the same you're within that zone.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm just like roaring top of my lungs, trying to draw as much attention to myself as possible. Large frame and everything, just hulking in. Also, for what it's worth, I think because I'm huge, slightly bigger mini on our map. But yeah, just running straight up to him and gonna unload.
All right, unload away.
So that's 5 dice plus
Wow.
4 dice plus bonus dice, and I'm spending the advantage that I got from the Twitch chat earlier
Okay.
Nice.
on this. So 12 dice total. Oh,
Wow.
so I got 4 successes, but I also got 1 penalty on the gear dice. But that doesn't count unless I push,
Unless
right?
you push, that's right.
Okay, I'm not pushing.
All right.
I'm
So,
not gonna risk. I just got this sledgehammer. I'm not gonna risk breaking the sledgehammer.
so he's got armor, which is going to reduce your successes by 2.
Okay. So that's still 2 successes then. So the base damage on the sledgehammer is 3 plus 1 for one of the successes. And then for my stunts, I'm going to. I think I'm going to subdue for fatigue to give him a point of fatigue so that it reduces or gives him a penalty anyway to his agility for shooting.
Okay.
I'm not sure what exactly that looks like on the machine. Like, maybe I wreck some of the metal around the gun, which makes it harder for him to aim or something.
Yeah, this is what I would say sort of happens where, like, you grab the arm and you kind of wrestle it around, you feel some stuff kind of bending and sort of giving way so that it makes it more difficult for him to hear. You're exactly right. All right. Cool.
Yeah, so running up there, I think I just like sledgehammer it straight into the chest that causes its arm to like flail about as it tries to counterbalance itself. And I just like grab onto the arm and yank. And there's a bunch of like popping off of the arm.
Now, as you hit him, he's got a power that's going to activate as you hit him. So as you hit him and, do all that, all your damage and all your stuff sort of happens. As then there's this huge discharge of electricity that strikes at you and sort of tries to push you back. So he's going to make his roll. And do you want to try to resist it by
absolutely
your next action? All right.
Totally.
So go ahead and roll your what's it called?
Defense.
Your strength.
Endure.
Yeah.
That is 1 success and 2 of the biohazards.
All right. So he's got more success than you in this case. So you take this discharge, it hits you, travels up the hammer as you kind of strike him. And so what happens is you strike him with the hammer, and then this discharge goes. And as you're kind of being blown away, your hammer grabs onto some of the gear, and that's what kind of messes up his arm for your bonus stunt from earlier. But then you're sort of projected backwards, and you're going to be projected right to here. Hold on, I'm trying to find the map. So this discharge, you're huge. You'll say about halfway to where you would. So you kind of get blown back there. You hit the ground and you take 1 damage on your strength.
Ow.
1 trauma. On the ground, and like your arms are still shaking and you can still see a little bit of electricity sort of around the hammer. And you land it in the snow. All right, then at 5 we have Lloyd.
Lloyd is going to leap. Can I get to him as well? I'm within the
the
zone, so I'm gonna leap onto this guy. I'm gonna be like, Pacino, no! And I'm gonna leap up there as I see this happen. I'm gonna try to land right on his like shoulders.
Okay.
And start tearing at, like hydraulics and any wires and just a mad pulling of operational gears out of this thing.
So give me a strength and force. Actually, fight. Sorry, strength and fight.
Strength and fight. Okay, so strength and fight. And I'm going to go ahead and use an advantage. So that'll give me 2 more skill. So I'm rolling 6 dice. All right, here we go. Damn it. Nothing interesting. I'm going to push it.
Okay.
Do it. Push.
I pushed it, and with my green skill dice, I got 2 radiation symbols.
Okay, any ones?
No ones at all. So do I take 2 feral points?
No, you don't get feral points. I don't
Oh,
think.
that's right, because I didn't get any
No.
ones. Right.
Correct.
All right. So that's
And it's
how
only ones off the attribute that actually give you the feral.
Oh, that's right. So it wouldn't count for the skill.
Right.
So
Got
how
it.
much damage is that? So that was how many successes you said?
2 successes.
All right. So his armor cancels out 1. The other one, you do damage. You start pulling some wires. And not. As you pull the wires, you pull out some stuff, and you see some smoke and some sparks and some electricity, and then you hear a rumbling deep inside, and then you hear like things like so there seems to be some new thing that's kind of started going, but you also take an electrical discharge as you land on him. You still manage to do your damage and all that, but as you land on him, you hit the electrical discharge and sort of go flying back.
Is it possible, as I hear this happening, that I could use a feral point to activate my jumper power and jump off before the discharge
yeah,
hits?
absolutely, totally, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna use a feral point to jump.
Technically, you couldn't because it's an action, but I like it because you did your action in attacking already
Oh, right.
and activating your power, and so. But I like it. You're being blown away anyway, so you jump off of him
I'm gonna jump.
just as this electrical discharge sort of hits you again.
I'm gonna jump the
Or
opposite
tries to.
direction, kind of like behind the trees if I can, or into the trees.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Sweet. Thank you.
Roll your feral.
Yep.
Oh,
Spend the
right.
Point.
Yeah. I just roll a d6, right?
Yeah. And then we consult the chart.
I rolled a 2.
I think you're good. You have to roll a 6 to get a.
Yep. So I think I'm okay.
All right.
Do you?
Too many
Pretty
tabs.
sure there's a
You
chart,
roll
right?
to see if you get a thing, and then if you do, then you roll in the chart. I do believe.
Right. Yeah. It's
Oh,
on
gotcha.
Page
Okay.
61, I think.
Yeah. All right. So you fall off back there. You guys start hearing that kind of powering up sound from deep inside of him.
Look out!
And then at 4, I got no one. At 3, a whole bunch of people, including Paige. So we'll get Paige to go, and then we'll do the NPC. Oh no, at 4 he goes. That's right. Sorry. So at 4 he goes. He starts moving forward. His movement being sort of hampered, so he's going to get to about here. He's going to put a shot of bullets sort of in an arc around here. Those are all
Oh,
NPCs.
You know we're gonna get blamed for this attack too by
Probably.
freaking what's his name?
Alright.
Zidane.
So he fires out. This guy has no chance. He gets totally smoked
Oh, shit.
by the minigun that sort of fires and starts with him at him. The other 2 manage a little bit better because they're going to use their action to sort of dodge. He's going to sort of jump over this way, and he takes a couple bullets. She's going to move back and try to get some cover in here. He's going to rake the machine gun sort of all over across in front of the bunker, and chips of granite and cement are just sort of flying everywhere. You guys that are inside sort of have to duck down as there's bullets sort of zinging everywhere in there. As he's approaching Pacino, you feel a lot of heat coming off of him, and you hear that sort of whirring sound, and you get the feeling that this thing's probably about to blow. This thing's probably about to blow. Paige.
Okay. So this is an overwhelming situation for Paige. So he's kind of Not even really having to look at the pickaxe being in his hand, he kind of just drops it, thinking I'm like too scared to approach that thing. And the next thought is wait, dynamite. Don't we have dynamite here? And I want to run to go and get dynamite.
All right. So you can move downstairs. I will say that with one maneuver, you can get downstairs. And you can, with your action, you can rummage around and you get one of the boxes and you open it up and there's a bunch of there's like 3 or 4 sort of little red sticks with little fuses at the end of them. So you can grab whatever you want from there. And then on your next maneuver, you can start to run back.
I do think there is something special about the turtle running to go and get the dynamite that we need fast.
Totally.
But it's okay because
Don't worry,
just before
guys.
the
I'll be
game
right
started-
back.
Just before the game started, he told me that Travis messaged me, telling me he's spending an extra point and move. So, he's all covered.
Oh, there we go.
He's all covered. All right, so we're back at the top of the round, and Pacino, you get this feeling this thing's gonna blow. Like whatever nuclear power core or whatever is in this thing, it's about to go.
Okay.
Like you can see the seams are already kind of red. The seams on the thing are already kind of red. It's super unstable. He's thinking from that.
Well, I can see, glancing back, I know that Mac is at least behind some amount of cover, but Hatfield seems to be kind of caught in the open here. I don't have my action because I had used it to defend last turn. Or did I? Did he?
You did. You told me you did. You have free, right?
To defend against the electoral surge, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, if you'll allow me, I would like to use my maneuver to get over to Hatfield and maybe chuck him away further a little bit, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, sort of around the corner maybe or something like that.
Yeah, basically I'm running over and just grabbing onto him and flinging him and then stopping where he was.
Okay. Would your fleet-footed allow you to do that and then move? Oh, but you need an action to activate your fleet.
I need an action for Fleetfoot, yeah.
All right, so you managed to go there. He's trying to get up, and he's got his pistol, and he looks like he wants to shoot. And then you just come barreling in, and you just kind of pick him up with your shoulder and sort of shove him off. He's like, "Ah!" And you remember back when he was in space, and he goes flying again.
I yell. I basically, as I'm doing this, I'm yelling at him to get his furry ass behind cover.
All right, so that's Sis Macklemore at 6. You're seeing what he saw. This thing looks like it's shaking. The plates are starting to buckle. There's red sort of energy inside that's sort of growing. The plates are buckling. This thing looks like it's going to blow like nobody's business.
And if it blows up there, I feel like Pacino is probably going to take the brunt of it.
Right where he's standing, it's going to be ugly.
So with my actions and move, can I help get him moved at all or no?
I would say that what are your powers, Macklemore?
Animal powers are hunting instincts and poisonous bite. Neither are useful. Here.
Okay, yeah, but
Bite
you know
him.
what you would think of doing is what you might do is you remember when you were sort of talking to these guys, you went to the kitchen to get some grub earlier. There's a window there, and there's one there. So you're thinking, conceivably, if you ran in there with your maneuver and then threw that window open, that you might be able to kind of try to help him start getting into there. And at least he's kind of getting in and getting some cover from the bottom part of the building.
That's what I'll do.
All right, so you spend your 2 maneuvers, or you'll spend 1 maneuver getting out here, and you're not even waiting. As you're sort of running, you pick something up on the table and a chair, and you kind of lob it up, right? And it crashes through the window, and it kind of buckles the grate that's there. And as you sort of arrive to it, you just kind of put some more shoulder into it, and the grate kind of bends out. and you reach out, and you're like, "Come on, man!" Like sort of trying to grab him, and you can start sort of kind of half-ass climbing in there. All right,
Nice. I'll take it.
And then at 5, Lloyd.
Um,
Oh shit!
You don't need a vision to see what's about to happen.
so this let me get this straight. So this construct, this machine is walking towards Pacino, and I had the sense that it was gonna blow. That's why I
Yeah.
jumped away. I'm gonna try to distract it by throwing the potato at its head to try to get its attention so it walks away from Pacino.
All right, so as you wind up with your potato to throw at him, you haul back, and whatever you popped in your back earlier throwing that snowball sort of dislodges again, and as that pain sort of shoots through you, it brings you a clarity of vision. You see in your mind this huge detonation in this mushroom cloud, sort of right where you are. You see it spread around. You see trees just completely vaporized, rocks melted to nothing. You see a little rabbit standing behind a set of bushes. And like those old cartoons when you would see someone get electrocuted and you'd see their skeleton right out
Yeah.
there. You get that sort of vision in your mind. You understand that anything other than getting out of there, this is your fate that's awaiting you.
Shit. All right, I'm gonna use my last feral point to jump.
I'm sorry. Also, you kind of get the feeling. I'm very sorry.
No,
You
that's
get
fine.
the feeling that he's not going towards Pacino. He's going towards the door.
Oh.
This thing's purpose feels like it was to go in there and blow up.
All right, so he, instead of throwing the potato, he gets this vision because our DM is benevolent and doesn't want to see one of our PCs die in the first session. I'm going to use my my last feral point, and I'm going to jump away farther in the opposite direction, and then I'm going to use, so that would be my action, and then I'm going to use my maneuver to move out of range. So, do I need to roll something I need to roll something for use of that feral point?
Yeah.
So as far as I can get with that action and a maneuver.
Roll a 6.
Oh shit.
Did you roll a 6?
No, but I rolled a biohazard on my feral point.
Roll again.
So now what do? I roll on that table on page 61?
Yeah.
Yep.
So explain to people what this means, Christian, who are
Right.
watching.
So what's going on with him is that in using a feral power, he is allowing the animalistic side of him, the primal side of him, to sort of come to the surface. And there's always a chance when they do that to lose control and to lose the animal side of him. So at worst, this is a permanent state, but there's variations in that it could be for a few minutes, a few hours. It might display an animalistic behavior, as we saw in session 0.
Hopefully, that was not safe for work. What happened in session 0?
I'm just
Well,
glad
they're
that
not
both
saying
of the
a lot.
bearers are 3 range increments away from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. I can't even get to you, so don't worry about it, Pacino. All right, here we go. I'm rolling on the feral effect table here. Wish me luck. A 5.
What does that give you?
Your animal
animal
side is
side.
completely suppressed and your human side takes over. This means you lose all your feral points and are unable to gain more. You can push as usual, but won't gain any feral points. You cannot use the dominate skill. The effect lasts for D6 hours, 3 hours. That really doesn't
This
affect me
was
because I don't have any
You were
feral
out
points
of
left.
feral points,
Yeah,
so
so
that's about
that's
as ideal as you could have gotten.
Right,
But as
so
you jump away, usually when you use your jump ability and you jump, you kind of have like a good landing with a spring, and you jump and you just flatten. Like your ability to sort of control your landing with your legs is just completely gone.
I just
And
do
all of a
snow
sudden, you
angel.
have a clarity of mind that you haven't had in a long while. You're just sort of logically examining everything that's going on, understanding the situation, and after sort of pondering it, using your intellect, your logic, your human side, after pondering it and sort of looking at it from different angles, you realize you're fucked.
You know what? Also,
Is that
in
the
addition,
technical term?
yes, and because we love that. This is also a moment, I think, when Lloyd, his human side sort of manifests and he thinks back to what Hitch was saying about the importance of like figuring out what's going on. You know, like, why are we being oppressed? Why is something controlling us? And it triggers that sort of there's a transition point there as this feral effect takes hold.
Nice.
And luckily enough for you, as you jumped fairly far away and you landed behind a bunch of boulders and kind of down the hill a little bit. So you got some cover. At 3, using her fleet-footed, Hitch is going to come around here, and helping Macklemore is going to grab Pacino and sort of haul him inside there and kind of get everyone down below the side of the wall. And at the end of the turn, this thing is going to explode, and it's got a nuclear core, and when it goes, like, you hear nothing. There's just silence. Basically, at one moment, there's like the sound of this thing kind of going up, people screaming and all that, and then there's just this white light, complete blinding white light, no sound. Macklemore, you hear a pop in your bad ear, and for a second,
Ooh.
you hear someone screaming in pain as someone somewhere is engulfed in flames and radiation, and then you go again, completely deaf in that ear. And on this note, we will end tonight's session.
Ooh. Wow.
And
Of
the
Genlab.
smartest among us was the turtle who ran underground.
Where the dynamite was.
Typical turtle.
Or getting
Hiding
that
out in its
shell,
shell.
right?
Yeah.
It's amazing
Oh my God.
instincts, man. It thought about it before it even happened.
I am loving this system, dude. This is fun. Really
Tune in
fun.
next week when we find out who's Smithereens,
Oh my God.
who's
Yeah.
Slag, and who is not.
Holy mackerel. Holy Macklemore. That was
Holy
that was
Macklemore.
rad. That was
Holy
really
Macklemore.
cool.
As a
lot
note
of
to the
fun.
viewers, the way experience works in this game usually is that at this point we would go through a questionnaire and the players would answer questions, and everyone they could answer yes to, like, did you use a certain skill, did you win a challenge, things like that. And for everyone they would answer yes to, they would get a point, and once they amass 5 of those points, they would get 1 level up point, which allows them to buy 1 talent, 1 skill, 1. So since this is a short shot, I'm giving everyone a full level up point. So for next game, you can come in having bought a new power, a new talent, a new skill, whatever you want. We'll talk about that in between the games. And here you are. You
Dude.
killed a land shark and caused a nuclear explosion on your first game.
Holy shit. That was
Uphill from
great.
here, right? Uphill from here, right?
Yeah, right.
Uphill,
Wow.
downhill.
Something
It's
went uphill.
gonna be great.
There's that beautiful face of yours, Chad. Look at you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And your arrow, Chad, with your slowing him down, like, really saved bacon, because that thing had one purpose, was to walk in there and blow up, and because you reduced its movement by half, it didn't make it. It's blowing up outside. So that was a really well placed arrow to the knee.
Woo!
Wow.
Very
Arrow
nice.
to the knee.
Good.
Dave, take us away.
Yeah, Christian, thank you so much for getting us into this game. What a great first session. Super duper appreciate you jumping into the GM's chair and leading us into this new system and new story. Yeah, I'd love everybody to give a little outro. Let's start with Christian. Christian, tell us where we can find you, what's going on, and whatever the heck you want to say. Just say it.
All right. You can usually find me in jail in Tijuana. If not,
no.
The Bleak Season on Twitter. Very happy to be here running this thing. Quite excited about it. I'm glad that there's all sorts of weird chaos going on. Thank you so much for viewers. There's a whole bunch of you out there doing all sorts of weirdness. I don't have time to read chat when I'm GMing, but I'm looking at it now and it looks like a whole mess of chaos, which I love. So thank you very much to you, and thank you very much to my players for being so game and having come up with such wonderful characters. And I can't wait for next week.
Awesome. Let's kick it over to Eversalt.
Okay, I just like blanked there for a minute. Just this is the outro. Who we are.
Sure. Any thoughts?
Any thoughts? Oh man, I didn't expect I did not expect a nuclear detonation at the very end of this. So this is a hell of a high note. I don't know how I'm gonna go to sleep now because I'm gonna be thinking about it.
Oh my god. So good. You guys got to check out Travis's YouTube page, YouTube channel. It's awesome. I even got to have a little opportunity to be on it. So thank you for that, dude. That was super fun.
Oh hell
Appreciate
yeah!
Appreciate you being here. Vamp, tell us what's up, man.
Hey man, glad to be here. I started this night by putting a gun through me and ripping my ear off. I ended the night by slowing a nuclear explosion down to just outside the building. But I'm very confident that these walls in this building are like double ply.
It's fine. It'll be fine.
Russian plywood, Russian
Great.
plywood.
And I even heard it for a second. I was like blinking in Men in Tights. I was like, I can see. No, I can't see.
Oh my god.
Thanks for doing this, Christian. This is a lot of fun. Thanks, Dave, for inviting me to this. And
Hell yeah.
I'm still not sure if I've died tonight or not, but we'll see next week.
We'll roll
think
some dice in between games and figure it all out.
Yeah. Thanks,
I'm
my
sure.
friends, for tuning in. Thanks for the Gary Con crew for tuning in. A couple of them messaged and stuff like that and followed. So thanks, everybody.
Hell yeah. And Miko, welcome to the channel, man.
Indeed, thank you for having me. Much appreciated. Glad to be here. Good session, good crew. You can find me on Twitter, the _OKest_GM. There's links in the chat if you want to check out my homebrew and world and that I'm working on and stuff like that. But yeah, just echo what you guys were saying. This was hella fun, and I'm very much looking forward to the next 3 sessions.
Hell
And
yeah.
I would like to say that I play in a home game with Miko GMing, a wonderful GM, also more than okay, the okayest. And his world is quite extensive, and he does have a lot of work put in it. So go check it out. There's a lot of good stuff in there.
Dude,
Thank you.
We need to talk more about your home world. I can't wait to check it out and hear more about it. It sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
absolutely. Anytime, man.
Yep.
Anytime.
Well, he'll talk about
and
it. He'll talk about it.
he'll talk about it. I bet he will. I bet he will.
Oh,
I bet we
man.
can get him talking.
That's the best.
Yep. You guys know me. I'm Dungeon Dave, DM Dave. I play games, produce games, and run games here on Guild Superior with a bunch of my friends as often and as vehemently as I can. I'm so glad to be able to pull people together to play games and do good things for the world. So I'm glad you guys are all here. Quick heads up that we do have our Beyond Saltmarsh game on Wednesday night. I hope folks will stop by and check it out. That's our Greyhawk game, 7 to 10 p.m. CST. Please stick around here. We are going to go ahead and raid our friends over at they are called, what are they called? Level
good
1
friends.
Geek. Our level 1 geek friends. Well, friends, I use friends a lot. But these people are doing some really cool stuff. So we're gonna go check out their game and give
And
them
for
some
those that
love.
missed at the beginning, I'm a Bushmaster Snake, Bushmaster Firearms, Bushmaster Firearms.
Are you being paid to endorse?
Yeah, really.
Not
What is-
endorsed by Bushmaster Firearms.
No.
No, and I get a lot of
Absolutely
spam
not.
that I don't want for buying
Oh.
these. I just got these for this game.
Nice. Okay.
I guess we can't raid them for some reason,
That's
so we're gonna
pretty
go
dedicated.
to
Sensei
-2
suplex.
initiative. So join us for the raid, everybody. We appreciate you. We'll be back
Thanks for
next
coming.
Monday for episode 2 of this game, diving back into the Blood and Winter. This
Thanks,
is
everyone.
awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. See ya.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.